So we're going to get started, finally. Thanks for being patient, guys. And again, thank you to those who've tweeted out and shared with everyone. We do really, really appreciate it. So, as some of you may know, today's episode is going to be the one that should have been last month. My apologies for that, but my personal situation meant I couldn't do it any sooner. But we're gonna do our E3 roundup that we finally got round to doing. So we can share it with you now, which should be really, really nice. Unfortunately, Viper's not going to be here today, but we have the lovely Matthew with us instead.
Yes, hi. I'm the black square in the top left.
The blank square, yeah. Yeah, so he's our voice from the middle of America. I don't... Yeah, was it Pennsylvania? Yeah?
I'm from Pennsylvania. I live in California, so I'm in San Diego.
Yeah. So...
And that's on the west side for you Europeaners.
Yes.
And Pennsylvania is not in the middle.
Idea.
It's on the east.
Yeah, absolutely no idea where
Bricks.
stuff is. But anyway, so yeah, we have lovely Matthew, and then obviously we have Kev like before. Our lovely little Muppet from Twitch. Yeah. And then of course my bro, Sarcastic Bulldog. And then
annoying sister.
Yeah, thanks. Yeah, the annoying sister. Yeah, thanks. I love that title. It's so wonderful. So
he's
appreciative.
being nice.
This is nice. It's all good. We'll keep it civil.
Yeah, we'll see. But anyway, so yeah, welcome guys. So yeah, E3 Roundup today's on the schedule, and also we'll be interviewing Matthew on his experiences in the gaming industry. He works for Sony at the moment, and he's a Sr Data Analyst. That's right, isn't it?
You got it.
Yeah, I got it right. Awesome. So we'll be talking to him in a bit. So the agenda for today, as I bring it up now, so we'll have a little bit of a natter about what we've been playing lately and what we're kind of hyped for in the next kind of couple of months. And then we will move on to the E3 roundup itself and the main discussion, followed by the interview. And if there's time, we'll do a little bit of Kickstarter GG that we missed out on last time. But hopefully I've got a few little projects I think you guys will be interested in. So we should have some fun with that. And then, of course, post-show, bit of gaming. We haven't decided what game yet, but we'll see who's in chat. We'll try and arrange something multiplayer, and we'll go from there, guys. If you have any questions at any point for any of us, please just do ask in chat. We will get back to you as quick as we can on it. All right, so we all set? Ready? Got your drinks? Good to go, I hope? Yep.
Absolutely.
Yeah. I've got my Coke, not sponsored.
Got my popcorn.
Right.
So,
I know, right? The front, yeah. So let's get rolling. So who wants to start with what they've been playing lately? Go on, Richard. Go on, get us started.
Okay, all right.
Come on, you can do it. What you been doing lately?
I have been playing the third piece of DLC for Mafia 3.
Right.
It's called Sign of the Times.
Any good?
It's good. It's short, and it's a bit horror based, which is a bit weird in Mafia.
Okay.
Yeah, that
does sound
weird.
odd.
Yeah, your character is like investigating a cult, and they use drugs on you, and you hallucinate, and you see lots of horror themed stuff, and it's very bizarre. Not what you expect from Mafia, but it was fun. Yes.
Okay. What other DLC have they done?
Pretty sure.
Up to this point.
There was the first one, which was about a racist hillbilly cops, which was pretty fun. And then the second one was about the second one was
Far Cry 5 you're talking about, I think.
Sorry, say it again.
That's a gag. I just let that one die on the vine, I guess. That's fine.
Oh.
I got it. He said Far Cry 5.
Oh,
racist.
Which isn't that one about racist hillbillies? Isn't that the thing? I thought I've been missing a lot of this stuff.
Yeah. A few people got a little bit salty and upset over that one, which was interesting. Was it like a month before E3 they started showing people, and they were getting a bit funny about it? I was really hoping for Wild West setting. Didn't happen. We've got Montana, but Monday. So I was a bit
We were looking for, but I think they're doing a second Red Dead Redemption too, though, right? So I think
Yes.
that
Yeah.
should sate your Wild West urge. I think that was
Yeah, Red
spectacular.
Dead 2. I'm so looking forward to that. It's going to be amazing fun. Can't wait for that. That's a while off yet, though, I think. It's
Yeah.
Next year, I think.
Next year.
It got delayed, yeah.
Yeah, because there was a delay, because they were hoping to get it out for this year, weren't they?
Yeah.
Was the
then it
plan
got
originally,
delayed.
but then...
Yeah.
then they had to shuffle it. But I'd rather a good game than a broken
Well,
game.
Rockstar take their time, so...
Yeah.
They get it right.
They have a habit. Well, they don't always get it right. I mean, GTA Online's a good example of that. But...
most of the time.
Yeah. Right, so what have you been playing, Kev?
Lately it's been a lot of Citadel Forged with Fire. So for those of you that don't know what Citadel is, it's pretty much a combination of Ark and Skyrim. So you
Okay.
take the missions out of Skyrim, like there's no missions, but there's taming. You don't have to worry about food. There's mana, there's magic, there's wands, there's brooms, so you could be Harry Potter if you wanted to, but cooler because no one really cares about Harry Potter. So it's just, I've spent 10 hours on it in 2 days.
Fair
Oh.
enough.
So, yeah. And it was closed and open beta last weekend, and I spent 10 hours on it last weekend. So in total, I've played like 20 some hours in the past week. So
Oh, heavens.
Just a few hours then. Just clocking it up. But overall, you've enjoyed it, yeah?
yeah, it's like like ever since Ark's been law to me, sorta, I'm trying to get back into it. I've been looking for like a new game that's like open world. Like for those of you that don't know me, like my game, like the type of games I go to are like open world, sandbox, just let me build and I'll be happy. Sort of like Minecraft when it was big, kind of.
Yeah, before it started dropping
Yeah.
off.
So
Yeah.
yeah, that's my genre go-to type of game. So
Oh, okay.
yeah, it's fun.
Yeah, fair enough. What about you, Matthew? What have you been playing lately? Between all
Uh,
your work and everything.
Yeah, there you go. So I've been patching beans most of the time. That's most of my work. But as for playing games, I've been playing this indie roguelike called Tangle Deep. They had
Okay.
a Kickstarter lately, a while ago actually now. But anyway, they're it's kind of like rogue. Like, well, I mean, everyone says roguelike nowadays, and it means a lot of things. But this is kind of like
yeah. The definition
it's
of it is
visual.
somewhat not narrowed down yet.
Oh right, yeah.
People
And
have
I
got their
don't
different
mean
interpretations still. And then there's subgenres
Yeah.
of roguelike now as well.
absolutely,
Just to
and I don't
confuse
mean to
matters.
just be a grunyard about it or anything, but it's very much a like enemies won't move until you move, very turn delimited,
Yeah.
like delimited. It plays very much like Dungeons of Dreadmore or ones like that. It's fun. It's extremely difficult. I think it's like $10 on Steam.
Okay,
But
so not expensive then. That's...
no. I think
Okay.
maybe 14 at the absolute maximum. It's sort of that kind of indie mid-range point.
Yeah.
But it's really good. Definitely sunk a lot of hours into it. It's got that kind of exploratory, procedurally generated, very, very difficult edge. It's one of those ones that kind of punishes you as you play. But it's definitely a lot of fun. It's certainly occupied a lot of my time lately.
Yeah. Do you feel like you're adapting to it as you go through?
Yeah, I feel like it's one of those things where you feel like you've gotten farther and farther each time, and you need to sort of have your own source of hope, though, because you'll get in and then suddenly you'll be killed by something really inane, and then you're kind of just like, oh, now everything's gone and I have to start over again. And you definitely, you need to come to it with your own source of will to continue.
Yeah, no, I can understand
It'll
that.
certainly grind you up pretty quickly otherwise.
Yeah, I feel a bit like that with Ark sometimes. You get a massive dino rager base, and then you're like, no! I spent ages making that a barn. Why? Oh,
Yes.
I feel terrible when that happens. For me, as far as games are at the moment, I'm doing Minecraft for work, as usual. Building Project Gotham still.
You
between
still working
everything
on that?
else. I haven't played a huge amount of games, because obviously been looking after my mum and everything, but I got sent... obviously beans, which I've been playing, which we'll talk about in a bit.
Sure.
I got sent, what was it, Avon Colony, which just came out. So I've had a couple of days on that, and I am really, really enjoying it. It's a space colony builder, city builder. You got to deal with the environment.
SimCity in space.
Yeah, it's kind of SimCity in space. Yeah, that's a fairly good way of assessing it. I do really, really like it so far. I need to play it some more though, because there's still a couple of things I'm a bit like on the fence about with it. But when it's not crashing, it's a good game. I've really enjoyed it so far. I haven't got too much into the combat side of it yet because I'm doing really, really early levels. And it takes a while for things to kind of kick in. It's got kind of a bit of a slow burn at the start. But all in all, I've really, really enjoyed it so far. Like I say, when it's not crashing, it's a good game. Hopefully they'll patch it and it'll behave itself a bit better. And then other than that, I mean, I've been on CS:GO a bit, getting the old rank grind going. Not done as much as usual, but still holding MG. I was MG2 nearly at one point, and I lost.
Now just showing off.
I lost it, and I was like, no, which was a shame. But oh well, CS:GO will always be there, so I can just pop back on it whenever I feel like it.
Yeah, I think that's definitely a mainstay.
Yeah, well, let's face it, it's not going anywhere anytime soon. Let's face it, Steam, good old Valve, the overlords, will make sure it stays there. So, I don't think that one will be disappearing overnight. So, yeah, I can play whenever I feel like it, which is nice. It's just, yeah, I just don't like getting raged at by randoms. Just fun. So yeah, I think we've covered everything, haven't we? Really, on what we've been playing. So, should we move on to the next bit?
Sure.
That'll be the upcoming release discussions.
Yes. Yeah. So go on. Do you want to start us off with that?
Sure. I know this game's been out, but they're actually doing they're going to be official, like, out versus early access. And I'm just, like, interested in seeing how they handle, like, being officially out versus early access. And that's ARC. And so the official release date is was August 28th or something like that. So I'm just really interested in seeing how that handles, like how they deal with that as far as PR and things like that. But other than that, I'm looking forward to the new Dragon Ball Z game that's coming out. Because, like, for those of you that are like me that have been playing Dragon Ball games for like PlayStation 1 era, like, it's been a heck of a long time since we've had like a 2D Dragon Ball Z game, because what they've been doing lately has been like 3D or blah blah blah.
I remember one of those I played on the Super Nintendo a really long time ago. It was like a
just going a little while back.
Yeah, but maybe it was Famicom actually, because it was on like an emulator, right? But I mean, I played it probably in the early internet era. It was a Dragon Ball Z JRPG. Yeah, that it really sticks out in my mind when you say two-dimensional Dragon Ball game. I think that's really. I'm gonna Google that while we're chatting, because I wonder what that.
Don't worry, Googling's fine. So good.
But I remember that.
Remember everything.
Carry on.
It's just like the last time I remember there being a Dragon Ball Z 2D game was high school stage for me. So that was what, 10 years ago?
Oh,
yeah.
That moment when you feel so old. It's been already 10 years.
Yeah, it's like in my day, 16-bit graphics.
Yeah.
Oh, and then you get people like, what was 16-bit?
But yeah, like, it was back before Tekken, Budokai, and all that stuff. But yeah, it's just been a while since they put a lot of effort into 2D, and I'm excited for that. They're also doing a different thing in regards to Dragon Ball Z games. They're having 3v3 fights, so you're gonna have like 3 people on your team. So it's gonna be interesting. People are, of course, like the Goku, Gohan, Goten combos, or like Triple Saiyans, Triple Namekians if possible, or like Frieza, Cole, and Cooler, King Cole, and yeah. Some of you probably don't know any of these names, but it's just gonna be like interesting to see like what teams are possible, who's all coming to the game, because I kind of want to do a Vegeta, Frieza, Goku combo and just have like 2 Super Saiyan Blues and Golden Frieza combos, see if that's possible, and just be interested in seeing what people in the community come up with and what's really effective in the like meta of the game. So
Sure.
yeah.
Oh, Locke, you lucky muppet. Got Oreos. I think there's a red Marmite though. People love them, people hate them. But anyway, sorry, just totally off topic.
Year, but never mind. Next person.
So anyway, what are you looking forward to, Richard?
Oh,
It's going to be a long list of pre-orders, I suspect. I love how you bash on pre-order culture, and yet you are terrible for it. That's a debate for another day. But anyway,
thank you. On my Xbox One, I will finally have Cuphead soon.
Oh, right.
That indie game there got delayed so many times.
How long has it been delayed in total?
Well,
when was it originally due out?
It got announced in what, E3 2015, I think.
Oh, so just a
that
while
one actually, the delays on that don't actually bother me so much. You know, when you think about the style of animation that they're working with, I mean, that is an ancient animation technique, and the time that it takes to just animate something as simple as an enemy moving around.
It's not a 2-minute job, let's put it that way.
Astronomical, yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, to do that.
Again,
it's
I
not
think
even
it's a case of, though, I'd rather devs and publishers take the time. I know it costs more, but like the upkeep costs and everything else that comes with it, but better that than rush it out the door and then disappoint and end up in a refund scenario.
Yeah, it's
but you've got
a tricky...
shareholders breathing down your neck all the time and everything. You know, I get why they try and shove stuff out the door sometimes.
Absolutely, and the interesting thing is that, you know, when you look at the amount of work and the kind of love they're putting into that, I feel like that's going to be really special and good. So when they're like, oh, it's going to be a little longer, I don't necessarily mind waiting so much.
Yeah, but if it's one of those really, really good gaming experiences, it will really stick and resonate with people, which will make it worth it.
Well, it's a better situation than them cancelling Scalebound. I'm not salty about that at all.
Oh, you wanted that so bad, didn't you?
It looked so cool. It was Platinum Games. Why they cancelled it? No, but that's a conversation for another time, I'm sure.
You never know. It would have been nice. It would have been interesting to see how that one had panned out, but we might never know, unfortunately, now. So it's just a shame.
That's the gaming industry, isn't it?
Yeah. That's the thing. I dread to think how many good projects over the year have just been axed.
And many before you even kind of know they exist, right? Like there's certainly a fair share that go bye before they ever really truly see the light of day. You know, that was the case for like Star Fox 2 way back in the day, and they kind of saw a slow re-release now on the little SNES Classic, whatever. But I mean, that died before it ever reached the public at all. StarCraft Ghost, you know, there's quite a few that kind of come to mind when we start talking about that.
Pokemon Snap 2.
Yeah, but there
go.
are some really, really great ideas out there. But, you know, because they're a bit wacky or they're not mainstream enough. You know, there's a whole variety of reasons why they can get axed. But
all the companies just a dick, like Konami. Silent Hills.
Yeah, well, the publisher dissolves them, you know. I mean, I used to really like Bullfrog games.
Yes.
The whole like Theme Hospital.
Theme Hospital. Yeah.
Yeah.
EA devoured them.
Yeah, I was just Peter Molyneux before he started promising things that he shouldn't have.
That's in my head, but
yeah,
the
that's
scenario.
good old Fable. But yeah, no, I really, really loved Theme Hospital. It's a game where I would love a follow up, but it's not going to happen. I mean, thankfully they released it on their storefront, so there's a compatible version that's a little bit more cooperative. Whereas I had to get the old CD that I still had from when it was originally released. I had to do all sorts of mucking around with my machine to get it to cooperate and behave, and then it messed with the resolution. But oh my gosh, the nostalgia! Like it was worth it. It was worth like the 3.
Isn't that where you like have
faffing
them with
around.
their inflated head disease and all that? I
Yeah.
remember, and you gotta like
Yeah.
pop their heads. And,
Yeah.
And then people come in and just throw garbage on the floor and vomit in the corner. And
Yeah, and then you get
I
the old
definitely-
men with the brooms walking the corridors trying to clean everything up, and then you could use the cursor as a shotgun to blow the rats up.
I remember
And then the
that.
slack
yes.
tongue machine would just rip their tongue off. And the
I
fracture clinic
remember
would
that as
literally
well,
unwrap
yeah.
them. Oh, so many good times on that game. I loved it. It was brilliant. And it was really well staged, and the maps were good, and the different diseases and the comedy throughout the whole thing.
Yeah,
it was
obviously.
quite macabre, but it was done in quite a friendly way, you know.
You know,
'Cause
we
you essentially have got people dying in the corridors.
right. So, playing with Beans, obviously, I'm clearly a simulator guy. Like, I enjoy
Yeah.
these kinds of games immensely. So it's certainly, we definitely had Theme Hospital and Chroma Squad and like these other little simulator type things in mind when playing with that. And the heavy humor, like the sort of heavy-handed humor, was definitely a big inspiration there because I like you say, I got a real kick out of, one of the things we almost lifted nearly directly from it is if you think about the kind of employee and recipe descriptions and things like that. That's very
Yes,
much directly from Theme Hospital, right? Like the idea of, I remember you would hire a janitor and it would be like, oh, works slowly and smells faintly of cabbages
yes.
and things like
yeah,
that.
that
And
was
I-
one
and
of the
just-
common descriptions.
Yeah, and so
And
that
then they were
stuck
talking about
out
their
in my
hobbies and
mind.
stuff as well, and
Yep.
and then there was some really interesting ones. But it's little things like that. It's just little touches that can make a big, big difference to a game.
Yeah, and I think that kind of adds to the charm, right? Because you think at the
Yes.
time, contemporaneously, there was, Maxis putting out these spectacularly complicated sim games that had really deep and interesting kind of mechanics and that were just awesome games. I mean, like the Sim Cities and
Yes.
and
way too many of
Theme
those.
Hospital at the same time kind of goofy, right? But
Yeah.
that charm, I think, sold it, and I think, I really enjoyed
Yeah.
that for that reason alone.
Yeah. I think that's really what sells it and what people really want to get back is just
Mhm.
the way it was written, and like you say, things like the little descriptions and the personality that was added and the stories that you could build behind the hospital that you created and the
Yes.
shenanigans that were going on and all the rest of it. So it kind of it builds that world and gets the player immersed. But you know it's just goofy fun and all the rest of it. It's very lighthearted, but again, it's a bit like the Surgeon Sim 2013 situation. That's not heavily story driven, but you've got this very macabre situation, but it's done in a very funny, goofy way. You wouldn't want a doctor with hands that don't behave as
Work.
intended. I mean, there are surgeons that have played that game who cannot do it, and it's that humor that the situation is just ridiculous.
Yes,
but at the
when
same
you're throwing,
time, you're
throwing a
dealing
rib
with life
cage out
and
the
death.
back door of a truck, that kind of thing.
Pardon, say again?
I say when you end up throwing a rib cage out the back door of a moving ambulance and
Yeah.
things like that.
Yeah, I mean, I lost organs out the back of the ambulance on a couple of runs I did. I was
Yes.
doing a heart transplant and the heart just went flying off out the back of the ambulance. I was a bit like, oh, well, he's not going to survive this one.
Oopsies.
Yeah.
And it's like restart.
Oh,
But
that's
they've
funny.
added to that game so much. Both have gone out of their way with that one because they've added more autopsies in space, including an alien. What am I talking about? Autopsy. Your patient's a bit screwed at that point. No, they've added an operation in space with an alien. Sorry, most of my patients are dead within 10 seconds. So, then they've done They've
Well,
done more
it
ambulance
wasn't an
ones.
autopsy, but I guess now it is.
Well, they should add that mode. They can do an autopsy
Well,
mode.
this is why Charade failed medical school.
Shh,
Yeah.
shh, we don't talk about that. Oh, but yeah, no, so they've added more ambulance ones, and they've also, I think they've added corridor based operations now. So you're in a corridor where it's on the move and operating on the move. I haven't actually looked into it in too much detail, but that's what I heard on the grapevine. So I'm
Kind
actually
of
hopefully
the
going to play that
television thing where you're running down the hallway with the person who's injured, that sort of deal.
Yeah, they're on a trolley basically, but it's
Ah,
all
okay.
moving on the
Oh.
go, and people and obstacles are in the way and stuff. Apparently, I haven't looked into it. Like I say, it's something I heard about, which is another reason why I want to get back into the game. Oh, and they've done a Trump one as well. They've added a political one in. I think you get to remove his face or something.
Did see that, yeah.
Yeah, I haven't again really looked into it too much. I think it's like a £1 or something for it as a separate DLC. But I mean, yeah, I mean that game anyway. Like I say, other than being absolutely terrible at it, although that live stream in, was it 2013, 2014? I did. A little bit of vodka seems to help. I played 4 hours of it. Couldn't do the first mission. Put the live stream on, couple of cups of vodka, and then I'm fine. I did the first level first time. No issue.
That's
and
funny.
then from there on out, yeah, there was a few mistakes, a few patients died, but shit happens.
Another reason she failed medical school.
Few people died. Shit happens.
When you
Just
say
imagine patients
corridor
having
on
Vietnam
the roof,
flashbacks if they
I
survive.
thought like
Before
a
you start,
giant
you go,
hallway.
have you got
with
good insurance?
tires.
Have you got really good insurance? Yeah,
Ah.
you're gonna need it. Oh, yeah. But you get
You
where
know,
I'm
that
coming
Donald
from anyway
Trump
with the humour.
DLC reminds me of, I saw this game show up on Steam. It's not out yet, I don't think, or maybe it is. I was just flipping through the Steam new releases a few weeks ago.
Yeah.
I think it was called President Erect, and it literally is a VR game where you beat Donald Trump in the face with dildos.
Oh yeah, President Erect VR free
Yes.
to play. Yeah, I've just found it. I'm just on
Yes.
Steam now.
Yes, yep. That was one that we
Oh,
saw a few
good
weeks ago when I was flipping through, and that definitely got a kick out of that one for sure.
You would not want to wake up to that face on your table. Like, hang on a second. No, legit, hang on. I'm just gonna put it on. Look, this is it, guys, on the screen. Like, would you really want to wake up and see that on your desk? God.
I mean, if they put it at $1, I'm sure they can make like a whole
But it's
buttload of
free.
money off that.
It's free. I
free,
think it's
so-
just therapy at this point.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, that's funny.
I dread to think what the. Oh god, dildos really.
The whole deal. You just beat him with
Oh,
dildos.
Is this-
we're going Saints Row on this now.
Is this
Yes.
Hillary Clinton's most played game on Steam at the moment?
Probably. Oh my
Oh,
god,
heaven.
yes. That would not surprise me. Hillary
How
Clinton
long until
recommends.
Trump tweets about this game?
Oh,
Oh my god. Oh.
I couldn't resist that one.
Yeah, I could see that. Oh, it's like, you have accrued 8,000 hours. Punching
I like how
Trump
each
VR.
one has a different name. Like there's the Obama, the Hillary, the Putin.
Oh.
Yes.
Oh my god. Right. Oh, should we move on to the next bit?
Yeah, getting too political.
Yeah, we're getting too political and punching heads and killing off patients and God knows what else.
Yeah, we were going to talk about E3.
I know, right? That little event that happened a while ago. Where do you want to start?
Or should we start on one of the conferences?
Well, yeah.
That'd be a good idea.
Well done, Sherlock. Right, let's have a look. Which one do we want to start on?
What EA was the
Well,
first
should we get EA out of the way first? That makes sense, I think.
one?
Who
Or
wants
well,
to start with
They're
EA?
used to that. You know, people saying that. Get them out of the way.
Wow, thanks, mate. So yeah, EA, anything exciting for you guys?
Do you remember a single thing in that conference? Apart from Star Wars.
It has been a while now for me, but
Yeah.
but yeah, I mean, They Battlefield something?
Yeah, the Battlefield 2, isn't it?
Battle for the Tsar expansion. I think that's what it was.
Yeah, there's an expansion, but then they didn't. They did a little play session, didn't they?
Well, that wasn't in the conference, but they've announced basically an esports mode for Battlefield 1 as well.
Yeah, they had all those YouTubers playing it, didn't they?
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I really want a good Battlefront game, but it's just like what's already there isn't what I wanted from it. Like, what was the one we played on? Was it PlayStation 2? Was it? You know, that really old Star Wars game.
Star Wars Battlefront.
Well, Battlefront.
No?
Yeah. But was it just Battlefront, or was it?
Well, there's
I
been
feel like
many
there's-
Star Wars
No,
games.
no. But you remember the one we played, like co-op?
Yeah, that was Battlefront.
That was just Battlefront, right? Okay, because I always get confused. There's so many stupid Star Wars titles. It's like, oh, which one's which? No, but I wanted like that, but just like zhuzhed up a bit, you know, like. And new one just isn't that really.
They have re-released. I mean, there is another Battlefront. It's not bad. You know, it's not necessarily the best game ever, but it's not a bad game.
Yeah, because you tried it out.
Yeah, I
the new
have.
one, didn't
I've
you?
got Star Wars Battlefront here. It's it plays. I kind of like playing the vehicles. You know, driving the vehicles. That definitely I enjoy quite a lot.
Yeah, I think because you played Battlefront, didn't you?
Yes.
What was your biggest gripe with it? I mean, I played a little bit of the co-op-y stuff with you, because it had a missions mode, didn't it? But that was really
Well,
superficial, wasn't it?
The single player was nothing, let's face it. This new one seems to be addressing that.
Yeah, but it was very. I mean, the whole point of it was to be multiplayer driven,
Yeah.
because you had all the heroes, don't you? The main characters.
Well, I like the new one is all eras of Star Wars, so you got Yoda and all that put into
so
it.
it's not
and
isolated.
It's like the original trilogy plus prequels and
So it's a bit more mixed, a bit more diverse.
yeah, plus Rogue One and Episode 7.
Yeah,
stuff,
so there's
so
some new stuff in there as well.
Seems like there'll be a lot more content. So
Yeah.
Yes.
maybe people will stick around a bit
Yeah, because the user base died off, didn't it?
longer.
At one point, there was a bit of a dip.
Soon as the season pass stuff started coming out, it split the community.
Yeah,
Which-
and then they had this problem where you couldn't get lobbies.
Which they've learned
effectively.
now that they've got rid of the season pass model. It's all free for everyone. You know, it's not going to split the community. Should be much better.
Yeah, so you should be able to get matchmaking a lot better and find people of the same kind of ability level. They're getting rid of the power-ups, aren't they?
Yes, you earn battle points now.
Yeah, they've got this new system,
So
haven't
it's a
they?
bit more
so
fair.
you,
You're not.
and that's how you like upgrade, don't you, during a match?
Yeah, there's not people just running off to find the one token to get the superpower
Yeah,
weapon.
because if you know the maps really well, you can find the shortest route and
Yeah.
just
And literally,
plow
you
over to
just
them.
don't get a chance to
Yeah.
get it.
Yeah.
Correct.
So, a better design choice, I think. In the
Yes.
long run, it should make it a bit more interesting. I think they'd definitely go for a bit more of a tactical approach, because from the gameplay we saw, there was a mix of outdoor and indoor, and you could use things like corridors as a bottleneck, and you could... Whereas there was wasn't that like big snow level, if I remember right, where it was just all in the open.
Jan Hoff.
You just literally, like, a Boba Fett would just drop in and just murder you, and, like, you're screwed, basically. But whereas from the gameplay I saw, you know, there was a Darth Maul guy zipping around, wasn't
Yeah,
there?
Darth Maul.
Yeah. And then there was, you get what I mean? Like,
Yes.
they were killable. Like, it wasn't like it was impossible. I mean, that one guy went absolutely ham and was destroying everyone, but they still managed to take him down. They just had to corner him and, you know, find a way to limit him mobility-wise, you know. But that I think is a bit more tactical, which should make for a bit more interesting gameplay,
Yeah, hopefully.
rather than just you got randomly shot from 100 yards away because you're out in the
Sure.
open, kind of. Yeah. I mean, for me, personally, I'm not looking forward to a huge amount of EA stuff. I mean, there's Madden. I know my friend Viper's gonna really, really be looking forward to that because he's an absolute Madden nut. I love my FIFA stuff.
Yeah,
I do love my
I buy
FIFA. I
FIFA.
really want the evolution of like the journey
Yeah,
and
but
things
to be honest,
to kick
I
forward.
buy FIFA, but at E3, I don't really need to see much. It's
It's just here's pretties.
yeah.
Here's pretties. Enjoy it. I mean, like I say, I want to see how things like the journey evolve though. Like how they're gonna add to it.
It's really cool
make
having a story now.
Yeah, definitely. It's long overdue. Long overdue.
Are you talking about the sort of story mode in Madden? Or sorry, the FIFA rather?
Yeah, where you take on the role of a player and you make decisions and stuff.
Right.
And then
Yeah,
it kind
right.
of swings some meters back and forward. Like I say, I'd like them to go a bit more in depth with it and it to have other consequences.
Yeah, well, hopefully they'll
I always
just
thought that was
expand
kind of a
on
neat concept. I remember there was an NBA game where they did that pretty in depth a few years back,
Yeah.
and I really enjoyed that. I feel like it was 2K maybe.
Yeah, NBA sort of did it first with 2K.
Yeah.
Yeah, but it's kind of the thing at the moment, isn't it? Before they
Yeah,
latch onto
sports
something
games are now
else.
doing that.
Are they?
Which is
Yeah,
cool.
they do that in the MLB game as well. MLB The
Yeah.
Show. They
it's
have
something
the,
extra. So
Like I said,
it's
goes
I
to the
really
show
enjoyed
deal.
it. I got to the point though where my player couldn't progress any further because I'd screwed myself over, which was just fun. So I had to restart completely, like about
I'm
2/3
not
of the season
surprised.
in. But yeah, well, given that I'm terrible for kicking players' shins out, and
getting sent off every match.
yeah, and I mean when I played like the old school, just play a season, manage it scenario kind of thing, like whole sections of the season would get skipped because I wouldn't have enough players to field on the team.
Right.
For injuries and red cards and stuff. Because I'd go a little bit mad with the slide tackles from time to time.
As you can
That's
imagine,
sad.
she was quickly relegated.
Yeah.
Me
Yeah.
on the
That's the
NHL
advantage of
game.
starting in the
I have
bottom
a-
league.
Always have a hard time with the NHL games for that reason because I feel like I just end up slashing and just utterly annihilating
Oh,
people.
it just gets
and,
really frantic. That's the thing. Like, I get so engrossed in it.
and all the
that
people
it's
playing
just like
with me are
must
just
kill
like,
every player.
we live in the penalty box. What are you doing? It's not a big deal. Don't worry about it.
I just love it when you get
Apologies to the
goalkeepers that go
media.
completely the wrong way, though. That's just saddening. I've managed to hit a few goalkeepers though as well, which was interesting. Oh, I've been a bit of a mess with that. What else is in my notes? Oh yeah, the Battlefield, is that BF1? I can't read.
Yeah, but we've
Yeah,
already
Battlefield
talked
1.
about
Yeah.
that. Need for Speed? Anyone excited for that? Payback?
Yeah.
Which had
Yeah.
that. I think this will go down as a bit of E3 magic. Jesse Wellens, the YouTuber prank channel who hosted it, and the auto cue stopped working, and he froze, and it was
He
the
literally,
funniest thing.
he literally had nothing to say. He didn't know what
No.
the game was or anything. He had no
He
idea
was
what
like,
he was talking about.
Need for Speed.
I think
Payback.
Yeah, he forgot what the product was. Like he clearly was just
and-
relying on the auto cue.
And when they started, he was turned the other way because he was watching the trailer for FIFA.
So you get it
Oh,
back
I
in his
remember
head for
this.
like
Yeah.
15 seconds, which was interesting.
See, that was more entertaining than the actual game.
Oh,
Wow. But Need
that's
for
a bit
Speed.
harsh.
Need for Speed basically it's turned into Fast and Furious.
Yeah, but I can see how that would work.
Or certainly at least how they would sell it.
Yeah, that's definitely how they're selling it in the marketing. What we're gonna get though is a whole different kettle of fish. I don't
know.
want them to do a crew with it, but
I don't know.
I do like those
It's
games.
one of,
I do really,
it's
really
one of
like
those games
them.
I think I'll play it, but I can't get excited for it.
I think for me, I'm gonna play it once and then that'll be it. Like it's not gonna be something I'll go back to.
Yeah.
I mean, for me, like I like some of the really, really old Need for Speeds, and I used to like Midnight Club,
Okay.
which is
yeah,
that
yeah.
really, really old. I know this is going back quite a way now, but I used to love that like crazy. Like I
Yeah,
spent
that was-
so many hours on that.
That was actually Rockstar back in the day.
Was it Rockstar that did that
Yes.
one? Oh my god.
Yes, it was.
Jesus, going back. Yeah. But no, I used to really, really enjoy that.
Yeah.
I spent so much time mucking around with the cars and then racing them and causing mess everywhere.
Dub edition on PS2. It had
Yes.
like, the greatest customization ever.
Yeah,
For a car
the
game.
amount of customization was ridiculous, but it was brilliant. Absolutely loved that. So, I mean, like I said, I'm definitely going to play Need for Speed Payback. I just need to wait and see. When is it scheduled for release?
November.
What, this November?
Yes.
Right, okay.
November 3rd, I think.
That's convenient. It's just before my birthday.
Something like that. Oh, is that a hint?
Nah, it's fine. No. I'll just put in a nice request and be like, "Hi, please give me a game." Let's see what happens. But no, I definitely
One
want to play
E.
it. I just don't want my expectations to be ruined. So we'll see. We'll see. Oh yeah, they're doing EA Originals now, aren't they?
Yes, the most exciting game.
Yes.
A Way Out.
Yes.
Yeah.
I really like the look of that.
Prison escape.
Yeah,
co-op.
that looks interesting.
Yes, that looks spectacular.
Co-op only as well, which is quite a brave move. But I think that's really, really good choice. For
Yeah,
it.
and like the screen's always split, so you're seeing the other person's perspective constantly, which
yeah,
is really
see,
cool.
I wasn't sure about that. I mean, it does kind of hark back to localized split screen situation, which is fine.
But this is like something you don't expect from EA, which is nice.
It's certainly refreshing. It's certainly something different. It's not typical of the rest of their roster at the moment.
It's not quite like Unravel when they revealed that, and it was a much more cuter indie title. But this looks really good.
Yeah, but this is something different.
I agree.
That's the thing, and I can see it being a lot of fun.
Oh yeah, definitely.
If they get the mechanics right, I can see kind of. I don't think it's gonna be humorous, but a bit like Portal. You have to work with your friend. Yeah.
Yeah, I think that was kind of magic. Right?
I think that's probably the best comparison. I know it's
very
one of
different.
those legendary stature games, and it's a very different tone. But with working out how to, and also you've got multiple choice on how to solve things as well. There's different options for how the players can go about solving situations. How far that will extend, that's to be seen. But it should make for good amount of replayability. Different groups of people will do it different ways. So it's for me it'll probably be quite a lot like Hitman in that respect, because I've replayed that a lot. But to do it co-op with different people, or with the same people, but then try the other methods and see what issues that brings up that you've then got to solve, that could be quite interesting. And they're doing quite a extensive story in it, aren't they, as well? If I remember right?
Yeah, it looks like it.
Yeah.
Because it's not just the prison, it's then
No, because there's everything after as well. That's the
Yeah.
thing. It's not isolated to that one situation. It's then the on-the-run kind of situation follow-up afterwards, from what I understand.
Kind of like very classic Hollywood movie.
Yeah,
On
yeah.
the
It's
run.
kind of like, get out of jail, escape, evade everyone, and then it's like, try and get away. Try not to get caught again.
Oh, that's funny.
Yeah, so it should be interesting. I mean, do you want to play that when it comes out?
Yes.
Yeah.
I'll definitely be playing that.
Is that going to be on console and PC?
Yes.
Yes.
I believe so.
Yeah, we'll have to have a debate on whether we're going to play it on console or PC. have to do rock, paper, scissors or something. Oh.
Why not both?
Yeah, there's that. What's the price point going to be at, do you think?
I don't know, because it's sort of an indie title, but it's quite high quality production value, so it might be more expensive. I don't know.
Mid to
Probably
high tier
$40
indie.
to $50 range.
It does.
I can't see being a full AAA price, but I think it will still be.
Wow.
It's not going to be.
It is
a
EA,
cheap
they like that
one.
money.
I mean, what? Maybe 20, 30? Maybe.
Thinking maybe 30.
I have to see.
Wow.
I wonder if they're going to do any
Time will
DLC for it. Yeah, we'll find out. What's the next one?
Um,
Seed?
What about Anthem? That
Anthem?
was announced during
Oh,
EA, right?
Yes,
That
that
was
wasn't
during
EA,
EA,
but
yes,
And then explored more at the Microsoft one, right?
Well,
Yeah,
it was like
yeah.
a really short teaser, which didn't
Yeah.
really
Yeah.
show anything.
I
Yeah,
know,
it was
but
just
like
hi, we're going to be talking
from
about
that
this
short
next.
teaser,
Yeah.
made me hyped about the game. So I kind of wanted to base off of that. Looks like a lot of fun, really nice looking game.
It's good looking. I think I just have MMO phobia.
Yeah.
Yeah, it kind of
I'm a
has.
bit of an MMO nut.
Anthem kind of has that Destiny vibe. It might.
With Destiny with mech suits.
Yeah.
Yes.
Now
Yes.
I do.
Oh, there's a really good mech game I used to play, and I can't remember the name of it now.
I do love the pedigree of it, like BioWare and the Casey Hudson thing, and just I feel like that'll be great, like regardless. But yeah, I don't know. I don't know how I feel about that one just yet.
Let's
Yeah,
wait and see.
apart from Star Wars, really, the only other thing that they sort of showed off was well, it's not even a game. It's they talked about Seed.
Yeah.
Does anyone remember that?
I don't.
The Search for Extraordinary Experiences division. They literally became a Bond villain. It sounds like a horrible AI
I really
program
hope that was just a
snooping on
joke.
everyone.
I really hope that was just a joke. But...
Yeah, just them being very weird and announcing basically they're looking into different ways to make our games better. But it sounds more like a evil corporation thing.
So let's crunch the numbers and work out what you're doing.
So God knows what that is.
Yeah, it'd be interesting to see what comes out of that. But it did come across a bit like, what on earth's going on here? It does sound like, no, we're just going to gather data on how you play things, and then we're going to test it and optimize to that data or something.
Wait, we don't do that already or anything.
I know, right? It just sounds like they're trying to be like, hey, look, this is a positive thing. Which it can be useful, don't get me wrong, like for bug fixing and like, but you know what I mean? But it's like the way they presented it was a bit like creepy.
It was kind of creepy, and it was like, we're kind of like Skynet now. We're like, we're going to track you down. We're going to make you play our games.
No,
your eyes
Why
open.
this season
I mean,
pass.
there's a place for data collection and, you know, optimizing experience and,
Yeah, it did.
you know,
it
but
felt-
it was just...
It was really out of place for
But also,
E3.
as well, the fact that they're making a big deal out of it makes me think, like, is this what I'm thinking it is, or is this something else? Is this something missing from the puzzle?
Let's move on from that.
Yeah. We'll find out at some point. Alright, EA, goodbye. Right. What's next? Oh, we've got Ubisoft. Does anyone want to start on Ubisoft?
Was that? No, that's the wrong conference.
Well, we can go to a different one. Which one do you want to talk about?
Oh, I was just thinking about Detroit. That's certainly stuck out in my head. I always enjoy those David Cage kind of story-driven titles.
Mm-hmm.
I'm definitely looking forward to seeing how that goes. I've
Oh,
always
yeah,
liked
that was
playing his
the Sony
games.
conference, wasn't it?
Yeah, almost
Yeah,
certainly.
yeah. Okay, I've got that. Let's do Sony then.
Yeah. Yeah, let's do Sony then.
So
Yeah.
I really, I greatly enjoy David Cage titles.
Yeah.
Always, pretty much everything he's done, I've really kind of liked. He doesn't make a game that you can play twice, though, right? Like he even says that, right? Like, don't play my games twice. Kind of wants you to be a
they're
one-through
amazing,
experience.
They're amazing, like, interactive movies. There's no real
yeah.
gameplay to them as such. It's a great
For
movie
sure.
to watch once. You're not really playing it, but they're always really fun. Like Heavy Rain was great.
That's
Although
always
that-
such a trick, Like I feel like for a long time, like a long time when I was a little kid, and this is aging me a little bit. There was the Sierra adventure games, right? Like King's Quest and
Yeah.
Yep.
Space Quest and all of those. And man, I love those. Like I played so much King's Quest, Space Quest, that kind of thing when I was a little kid, like just an unbelievable amount. And I feel like sometime around the 90s, like adventure games just took a real hit. Like you barely, like after Day of the Tentacle, somewhere around there, it's just like they just disappeared. And I don't know what did that exactly, but to me, when you're playing around with those kind of like David Cage titles, I feel like, you're not swinging a sword, you're not mitigating the world at the end of a gun or anything, but like at the same time, it's very much like a Telltale game for me, right? Like it has this, it harkens back to that for me, and I really do miss those. So I think that's maybe one of the reasons I kind of have an affinity for those, is I sort of just miss walking around with my little king and getting killed by like everything.
Yeah, I do like a good Telltale game. I do miss playing them. I played the Game of Thrones one a little bit, but there was some graphical issues with it.
Oh, yeah,
And
the
I
new
still haven't
Batman
finished it.
game.
And it's Game of Thrones, you're going to expect half the people to die anyway, so it's not had as much impact on me as The Walking Dead one.
Yeah, my wife has been playing the Batman one and is really into that. And
okay, I haven't tried that one. You tried that though, Richard, right?
Which one?
Batman.
Oh, Batman.
Yeah,
the
yeah,
Batman
Telltale Batman, yeah.
Yeah, I enjoyed
That's
that.
fun.
Yeah, but I remember like
New
Telltale
one's coming
doing
out
like
August
CSI
8th.
games
I heard that. Yeah. Oh yeah, yeah,
Love
yeah,
that.
yeah. Those were interesting.
I
But
love those.
I greatly enjoyed their Wolf Among Us, like their Fables deal as well, and I think
Mm.
there's more of that coming as well.
Yes, that's
Yeah,
season 2's been
next
confirmed.
year.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. So that'd be interesting to see how that pans out.
Yeah, same with Batman's got season 2.
August
Walking Dead's
8th.
got another one.
I don't know. I feel like Walking Dead's been
Yeah.
kind of bled dead at this point.
I think they're talking about it being the last one though.
Yeah.
I hope so,
I'm-
because The Walking Dead does feel like a zombie now at this stage itself. I'm
Good
like,
God,
I like this, but please don't spoil it by just doing it for the sake of doing it. Like, do it because you've actually got something to add to the narrative.
Well, yeah, that's kind of like.
I
with
think
the
I've just I don't know, I feel like I got to be an old man about zombies now. It's like with comic book movies is the other one. Like it'll be like, "Oh, out comes Thor 86. This
Yeah.
time he's
Well, that's the
he's
other thing
got
as well.
something slightly different."
Yeah, well, they've announced a couple of the Sony conference. They've announced Spider-Man, and they
Yes.
announced
Yeah.
Marvel vs. Capcom Infinite.
Yeah.
that's- Wow.
Now,
So-
see, I
Trailer
don't
for it.
necessarily.
Yeah, they mentioned it.
It wasn't
and-
really announced.
Well, no, but you get what I mean. It was yeah.
Yeah, I'm
But
not
on the topic of
necessarily.
superhero stuff.
Yeah, I mean
Not
Spider-Man.
necessarily upset with the games. I think like a good superhero game can really shine. Like, I mean, you think back to Arkham City, things like that, and I mean, they were just spectacular, right? But I don't know. I feel like that. Completely off topic for a gaming podcast, I guess. But I
It's so
feel.
good.
I think I feel the same way about when I see a zombie game at this point as I do when I see another like comic book superhero movie. I'm just sort of like, oh, please stop. Just I don't know. Maybe that's just me personally. I think there's got to be somebody out there that keeps buying zombie games, I guess, and comic
Yeah.
book movies. But
Yeah.
I feel the same way with
Yeah,
zombies in COD.
yeah,
They
that's
just-
a bizarre
Oh.
thing.
I'm sick of the zombies in COD thing. Like that needs to stop now. We've had too much of it. I do be
I'm
wrong. Like, I
the
played the
only
zombie
one
modes a
that
bit like
was-
on Black Ops and stuff, but like after that, I was just like, nah, I'm done with that.
Yeah.
I'm done with it. So
I'm the only one that's gonna say this, but I miss what they did in COD Ghosts, and that being
not
that with
Ghosts.
the aliens. No, I miss the
Yeah, the
aliens
the
because they
alien
mixed it
thing,
up.
yeah, but the rest of
It
COD
was a
Ghost,
different
dump it, please.
take. It
Hide it
was
with the ET cartridges in the desert somewhere. Don't.
Hey, I actually enjoy Ghost. Okay.
Oh, I hated it.
Don't
I
hate
played it. It was so boring.
With the
It's
ET
one of the worst
cartridges.
COD games, but it's not
It's
the
not a
worst
terrible.
game ever.
No, it's not a terrible game. Let me just clarify. It's not a terrible game by any stretch of imagination. But from a plot point of view and characters and just it was a drag. I played the story and the multiplayer wasn't
Yes,
the best outing either.
The I'm your father bit, I did laugh my ass off because
Yeah.
it was so obvious.
Yeah, it was like you didn't work this out. I was like, okay.
This is not one I've played, but I take your point.
Mhm. Yeah, no, yeah, Ghost wasn't my favorite one. I think out of all the Call of Duties I've played, I've got the least hours in Ghosts, and for a very good reason. For a very, very good reason. I was like, I played
Like
it.
I
I was
said,
like, yeah,
I'm
it's
the only one that
alright,
actually probably
but
enjoyed that game, but
it's
I'm weird.
just a very middle of the road. You know, it plays well technically. You know, it was fine, but the story just was a bit.
Well, to be
bleh.
fair, that was the awkward phase of the new consoles had just come out, and they were spending less time on making the COD games, so it was just a factor at the
Yeah.
time, I think.
Yeah, I love how they've now gone to the whole World War II thing now. That Battlefields.
Yeah, but at least they've like given them time to develop this.
Yeah, I'd like to see some other, wars. Let's get away from World War. I mean, World War One that was fine, but I'd like to see, some. I mean, what was those really old, like Medal of Honors and stuff, and some of the, didn't they do like Vietnam and stuff, and you know what I mean? They covered some different eras, didn't
Yeah.
they? If I remember right.
Couple.
I'd
not
like
many.
to. I know. I'd like to hark back to a few of those. We haven't seen those kind of environments for a while now. I miss
Sure.
it a little bit, just a little bit.
If you say so.
Yeah. No, just like I said, I'm sick of all the futuristic stuff though. That is like, I think everybody. I mean, the amount of dislikes those videos got when they came out.
Yeah.
I mean,
I
jeez.
think Activision's realised that we're sick of sci-fi.
Yeah,
at this point.
people bouncing around the multiplayer maps on jetpacks and metal exo frames and stuff. Yeah, everybody's had their fill of that. So yeah, the Destiny 2 was mentioned at the Sony conference.
Mm-hmm.
Now you have strong opinions on
Yeah.
Destiny, Richard, don't you?
It's Destiny.
Yeah.
I mean, you played the first one. I really wanted
Well-
the story though. That's the thing. They chopped it out of the first game, and I was like,
I've-
no.
I played the beta for the new one recently, and it's better than the first one, but I'm still not convinced that they're going to carry through with the amount of story.
You
Yeah.
want a really thorough,
I'm not.
old school Bungie, don't you?
I'm not
Kind
sure.
of situation.
Yeah, well, I don't know. Time will tell with Destiny.
Yeah, I think one of the big issues they've got though is the damage they did after the whole Destiny 1 situation to get people's confidence back.
Yeah, it's,
Mm-hmm.
I'm glad there's a second outing. Like, it's good, but I don't know. I'm worried that some people are going to be a bit wary of it now as a result. Like, I kind of feel like the damage has been done to some extent, unfortunately. Which is not something I
Yeah.
like to say, because I really want to get into a Destiny and a story-driven Destiny. I really want to do that. But I can understand why people might be a bit funny about it after all the
I mean,
issues with
the-
the first one.
The
Mhm.
open beta set it up for potential to have a really cool, really interesting story, but like Richard, I played the beta and it just felt like Destiny. I mean, don't get me wrong, it's a nice looking game, blah 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 blah, but past that, it's like, you know what I mean?
Destiny's tricky. Again, for me, I like it. It's clearly one that I think a lot of people really enjoy, and I feel like I really do feel like I have the MMO phobia. Like I said, I think
yeah.
I'm very
Well, I
much
played
like,
a lot of
oh.
MMOs when I was younger, so. But the thing is, I'm a World of Warcraft person, so I've never been able to find a proper replacement for World of Warcraft for me. Because I played it for a very, very long time, and for way too many hours each day.
yeah. Well, this is kind of like how I am with open world games now. I get very bored of them very quickly.
Yeah, I've been a bit more open with a few open world games. Like, you know, I've kind of come back to them a little bit recently, but I find it's a bit hit and miss at the moment with open world.
Yeah.
Because it's I mean, it's like there was a great video that Jim Sterling did that kind of explained it. It's, you know, you've got these vast worlds, but you've got nothing filling them. It's like you can boast that your map's X thousand kilometers or whatever, but if there's just a billion copies of the same tree, and, you know, NPCs that don't understand how walls work in buildings, and, you know, not, you know, lack of things to interact with, you are just filling the space with guff for the sake
Well,
of it.
it's more just like having 4 side quest types and then just
Yeah, and then just spamming them all over the map
Yeah,
and randomizing
1,000
them.
times.
But it's just fetch questing.
yeah.
The same thing over and over.
That's
It's like, get
a
me
very,
6 chickens and go to the other side of the map with the 6 chickens.
It's a very popular kind of thing, and I think World of Warcraft certainly did its share of that too, right? And I feel like
Yes,
for,
yeah, it's
for
a
a
bit
long
notorious for
time,
that.
everybody tried to just jump on that same bandwagon. You know, I remember early on in World of Warcraft, there was something, it was like Horde side collecting raptors' heads.
Yeah,
and
there's some raptor claw gathering stuff, and then there's
it
like
would be-
meat, and then
The thing that always blew my mind is it would be like, bring me 10 raptors' heads, but most of the raptors you kill will not have heads.
yeah.
And I always found that
Maybe
just this
stupid things as well,
bizarre
like the poop
dissonance.
quests as well. You have to go fetch poo, and it's just like, really? There's so many poo quests in WoW, and you are literally just fetching poo, and it's like, why am I doing this? I mean, you can read the
Yep.
quest info for the logic behind why this orc wants X amount of poo for his garden to feed his wife and kids, but it's just like, there's got to be easier ways of doing this. Like, you are being the most inconsiderate little asshole NPC possible.
That'd be easier.
Just to waste half an hour of my time.
That'd be easier
reminds
on Ark,
me-
wouldn't it?
Oh
Yeah,
god,
there
on
you go.
Ark.
Yeah.
Oh, on Ark. I had a barn. I'm not even joking. I had 27 birds lined up on the roof, and I had ramps that were lower down, so it was just literally collecting these little gullies So you could just literally walk up and down the gullies collecting everything. They
Great.
just constantly be on the crapper with all these birds pooing off the roof.
Lovely.
Why didn't they
Well,
just
it
get a
made lots
pig?
of fertilizer. It was efficient. So
Force feed a pig a stem berries and then bam.
yeah,
got
that's the more
mountain
efficient way
of
to do it. Is
poop.
do it with the pigs. But yeah, I just had tons of argents everywhere. So
Right, anyway, let's save the shit for when we talk about Bethesda.
it's a bit rude.
I'm sorry. No,
I wasn't
mean,
impressed
that
by their conference. But that's going a bit
false.
far. That's going a bit far. That's
But-
going a bit far. Anyway, God of War.
God of War, yeah, that looks really, really cool.
It's very different though from hacky slashy.
It's not very
Crazy.
fast paced like the old ones, so it doesn't really feel like God of War.
Mm.
It feels
But
much more.
I think there's more like those. Well, from what I can tell, it looks like there's a lot more of those calm, having a chat with your son moments. You know, a bit more RPG
It feels more
moments.
like Last of Us.
Yeah,
It has those slower moments, and then you get the action, then you slow down again.
yeah. Instead of
action,
just
slow
swinging
down.
tons of metal around trying to kill everything.
Yeah, but normally it was like killing massive monsters, but now it's these very small moments, and I don't know. It
I
still
don't
looks
know.
great.
It's interesting for them to take a different direction with that.
Yeah, I mean it looks
I
stunning.
feel like you're probably still going to, and this is spoken entirely as opinion, not as Sony guy. I feel like you're probably still going to get a lot of that big set piece stuff, though, right? Because you imagine,
Yeah,
you know, even in the trailer, you had the giant thing trying to kill his son, whatever it was,
yeah,
and the
and that.
Snake or whatever.
Yeah,
it was.
but you know what that made
yeah.
me
So
think
I
of?
feel like
That
you're
That made
probably
me
still
think
going to
of
get a
like
few of those.
that made me think like Shadow of the Colossus.
Yes,
Yeah.
which,
Yes,
funny
yeah.
enough, that's also getting remastered for the second time.
Which I
Yes.
don't mind, to be honest, because it's a really good game.
No, because it's a
but
great game, and
yeah.
the first remaster was poorly done. I'll be honest; it had horrible frame rate issues.
yeah,
on the
but
PS3.
I'm sure they can rectify that.
Yes, well, hopefully they will get that right this
Mm.
time, which I'm sure they
Yeah.
will.
Yeah, but I do get that kind of, like you say, The Last of Us with Shadow of the Colossus kind of vibe
Yeah.
with this one. Like I say, it does seem to have more mellow, story-driven mode, but I kind of like that because like the whole RPG kind of story. Do you know what I mean? You can get really immersed in the emotion, but in a different way.
I think that
I'm going to be interested in how it plays out between him and his son, though, and how they tie the Norse mythology into it.
For sure.
That's what I'm really intrigued on, because I'm a bit mythology nut. I love that kind of
I
stuff.
think also that Last of Us vibe went into like Days Gone as
Yeah.
well. Kind of
Yeah.
slow moments, and then you're dealing with all the zombie
Yeah.
hordes,
And then you've got this, like, say, big set
Yeah,
piece kind of
I mean,
bosses and stuff.
that looks very cool. But I mean, like we said earlier, we're kind of done with zombies at this point.
Yeah.
How do you make them
what
interesting?
was-
They've just
What was that game? You know the one I mean? The one with the mall and the guy in the mall and the zombies.
Dead Rising.
That's
Oh,
it.
Dead
That's
Rising.
the one, yeah. Sorry, I'm having an absolute brain fart today. Yeah.
Today.
I really love that. I really love that. I didn't play the new iteration of it. But, like,
I'll be honest.
I'm staying away from
I've-
zombies as much as I can, but there's, like, things like that I would play.
Well, Dead
just
Rising.
to see, but it's...
Dead Rising, I've liked as it's gone on further. I didn't like the first one.
Mm,
The save system really annoyed me on that.
yeah.
I
I
felt like
got
the
the
first one
original
was
one.
also one that just like cooked your Xbox, wasn't it? Wasn't that the whole deal with the first one? Was that like there was a like a graphics card problem that they were blaming for the flames on the computers, or excuse me, the Xboxes. Maybe that was just a rumor. I remember my first Xbox. That was like a thing everybody talked about, was that the playing too much Dead Rising would cook your video card.
Yeah,
I'm sure.
I remember something about
Yeah,
that.
you're more the console guy,
Yeah.
Richard, aren't you? So,
Yeah, I'm pretty sure there was something about that.
yeah.
Back
I
in the
remember
day.
the old the red light of death, wasn't it? And all that.
Red Ring, yeah.
that was.
Which
oh.
I did-
You had several of those, didn't you? You were not happy.
I had it twice, but I mean, I had one console that's, still working today. I mean, it's
Mm.
so it's just
It's still going. I mean, that's the thing though. Console wise,
Just
we've
luck.
still got original Xboxes that work. We've still got original PlayStations that work. We've got a bloody what was it, an Atari?
I got an Atari 2600.
Yeah,
that works.
and you got an Atari
Yeah,
Jaguar
me
as well.
too.
Yes.
Yeah, but they all work. They're
Just-
robust as long as you look after them.
Yeah,
You know,
it's
They
amazing
keep
engineering. on them.
amazingly well. It's surprising how long you can get them to last sometimes.
That's what I think someone joked about the it's mostly the US one, but the Super Nintendo Mini. Everyone had
Mm.
joked online that until it turns yellow on top, it's not real. You know, because half of the ones in the U.S. after about 5 years of having them would be just bright yellow on the top half for bizarre reasons I never understood. Even my Super Nintendo from when I was a kid, I mean, it's here still, and it's like half of it is just this ugly yellow color. And I never understood why that happened.
Yeah. Yeah. We have to be very careful, don't we? We have to store them in a particular way to try and keep them good. What's the other thing you've got? You've got that Pikachu edition.
Oh, I've got the Pikachu edition of the Nintendo 64.
Yeah, that thing is really cute. I really like that because his little cheeks glow, don't they?
Yes.
Yeah, that is, and it's all
Very cool.
still works. It's amazing. I love that thing.
Yeah.
It's really, really
I
good.
know what I'm doing in England.
Hey, back to Sony.
Yeah, back to Sony. Let's have a look. So,
Monster
Horizon Zero
Hunter
Dawn.
World for PS4.
Hmm?
Monster Hunter World for PS4 got me a little bit
Monster
excited.
Hunter.
Yes.
Yeah.
The one
Yeah.
thing I want to point out with that is it's on Xbox One as well. It's
Yeah.
not an
That's true.
exclusive. It's the first time Monster Hunter is not being exclusive for a long time.
See, I don't really have
And
anything to
that's
do with that
me
game.
excited.
Possibly ever.
Monster Hunter has been on other platforms before, but it's been a long time since it's happened.
Oh, okay. All right.
Because it's always been like a PlayStation exclusive.
Yes.
But this one they are making for Xbox One, so it's not such an impact once you know that.
Yeah.
From Sony's conference, because they were trying to make it out like it was exclusive still. I kind of felt they didn't disclose that, but you know that's fine.
They don't particularly have an obligation though
Well,
to say,
no,
"Oh, by the
no,
way, it's going to
but
be elsewhere."
Yeah,
So
that's fair enough.
yeah. What else is this? Oh, yeah. There's a Horizon Zero Dawn DLC, and then there's Uncharted Lost Legacy.
Yeah,
Yeah.
they're basically
Yes.
2 expansions.
Yeah.
Which
you gonna
they-
take a look at those? You reckon?
Well, they started the shows with that, and yeah, they're great. They look awesome, really fun. I mean, Uncharted, absolutely love those games. They're just fantastic. But they're just expansions. Wasn't something to get super excited about. I'll play them, but
You're not
Yeah.
particularly over enamored
Yeah,
about it.
like-
It's just like,
great.
yeah, it's just it is what it is.
Yeah.
Fair enough. Well, to
Now,
follow that.
PlayStation's getting Undertale.
Ooh, yeah, that would be good.
Yeah, that's cool.
I was kind of surprised that it's not there yet, to be honest. But I found that fun because I certainly love Undertale.
Again,
and,
that's it's a good example of a game that's got charm.
oh
With
my
the way
god,
it's
yeah.
written, and yeah, I mean, I'm assuming most of the guys in chat will already know what Undertale is by now, but yeah, that was one that just came out of the blue and was just like really, really amazing, and I was like, oh my gosh.
Yeah, Sony could have covered more indie games. I felt they didn't have a lot of presence in the conference compared to like Microsoft. They really pushed indie titles a lot.
Yeah, but I have to say the indie titles that Sony did push
Yeah, they look
were
good.
very, very good.
a lot of-
Specific
a lot of-
examples.
A lot of VR ones though.
Yes, there was a lot of VR stuff. Let me
Um,
find my notes on that. There was a whole section on Sony VR. Yeah, well, on my VR list, they've said Skyrim, Starchild,
Yes.
The Impatient, which is a horror game, which I like the look of. That kind of gave me Outlast vibe.
Yeah.
Final Fantasy 15 fishing game.
Which
Yes.
yeah,
Which-
we were all dying for.
Yeah, everybody. I mean, I'm up for like Final Fantasy VR, but
Well, it was,
why fishing?
it was the mini game I played for like 20 minutes, then gave up and moved on with the rest of Final Fantasy.
I mean, it wasn't that particularly. I mean, I didn't get to play that Final Fantasy game, unfortunately, but it wasn't like it was particularly notable. I didn't read anywhere or hear many friends go, oh, the fishing in Final Fantasy. You've got to have it. You've got to have it. You need to live your life as a fisherman in Final Fantasy. I don't. Why pluck that element? You know, I don't get it. But maybe they're trying to appeal to the fisherman market. Who knows? Maybe there's
Yeah,
a big,
I have
Or-
no
maybe it's a
idea
big
what
Final
that is.
Fantasy audience we don't know about.
It's a thing.
Or
The fishing community.
this is their way of saying this is not the game you want, but this is the game you deserve. Not
Well,
take
Yeah,
it.
this is the
and
game you're going to
enjoy it.
have whether you like
Well,
it
no,
or
it's
not.
classic Square Enix. They're milking Final Fantasy for everything it's got. Because they do this every time.
Are we going to get, like, you know that Sunday Driver car game? Are we going to get that, but with Final Fantasy, where you've got to make your car before you can do your journey?
Now if they did a VR chocobo race,
No,
type
that
of
I would be
thing,
all over.
that would
See, that's a
be
good idea.
See, that I can see
awesome.
everybody getting on board with
That's a
because
bit more-
everybody loves the chocobos. The
Yo.
chocobos are so
cough
adorable.
cough, Mr. Stoney, cough cough.
I
Yeah,
want
there you
no
go.
seriously.
Yeah, we'll get on it immediately. Yeah.
Seriously, no, I want those like staple management games. We haven't had a good one of those in a very, very long time. But if we could do that, but with chocobos, and have a VR option
What would be like?
in first person, it'd be like yes.
Oh, the ultimate mashup: Final Fantasy and Harvest Moon.
Ha.
But no, chocobo racing. Oh my god, I spent so much time doing like that. There was a section, I think it was Final Fantasy X or
Yes,
something, where there was
yeah.
like a whole section on that, and I just spent ages just doing
Stop
that.
talking about chocobos.
Or the
Seven
other
as
thing,
well,
Final Fantasy
too, yeah.
Blitzball.
Alright,
Blitzball.
alright.
I want a
One thing
Blitzball
is-
management
And,
game.
yeah.
Calm down, right? We know you like Final Fantasy.
I want FIFA, but with Blitzball. Please.
FIFA with Blitzball.
That would be awesome though. Like VR Blitzball with a
Well,
campaign.
that's the thing as well. You could chuck your hand and stuff. Like it would cater for them. I mean, I can see a lot of VR remotes getting thrown at walls by
Yeah.
accident. But
Broken
then again,
TVs.
that happened with Nintendo's Wii, didn't it, for a while?
Do I
They're just
actually have to
literally getting
do
thrown
the
out of windows.
backflips, or is it just some kind of button?
It's
Yeah. Just have to lock it on people's wrists.
rotation of the hand type thing.
There you go.
You just flick the ball
But-
or something.
For the chocobo racing, you have to be able to choose between different graphics, because you could have like the kawaii chocobo racing, or you can have the more
Cartoon
like
mod.
updated, better graphic.
Yeah, you could have
chocobo
like the
racing.
more high detail, and then you could have like the more cartoony,
Yes.
friendly one. You could choose. You could have like two different. Bit like they did with like Halo when they remastered it, and they put like the old versus the new. You could have like the cartoony versus the.
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah.
just
Did
the
that
press
with
of a button,
the,
you could do
Yeah,
the
you just flip
graphics.
between.
what's
Yeah,
it
yeah.
Yeah,
called?
that was really cool, actually.
We just did that with Street Fighter that they redid. You can play it on like 1990s Street
Oh,
Fighter
the one on
mode,
the
or you can
Switch.
play it in. Correct. Yeah, or you
Yeah,
can play
yeah.
it in
Yeah.
modern graphics.
Yeah, that was,
Yeah, that was good, wasn't it? Yeah. So, what should we do next? Do Microsoft or Nintendo?
Oh, I love Nintendo's. I
Oh,
gotta tell you.
Nintendo's
Yeah.
conference was really
I
good. I
talk-
really liked that one.
I liked
know,
it.
like,
I'm actually
for
hyped
tomorrow.
for some of the games now.
But it was a lot of, we've got this in development. That's it. We've got nothing to show.
No,
Yeah,
but there's a
there's-
few
yeah.
really good novel ideas there that I think could work really well. Like there was that was it Rabbids and Mario crossover?
Yeah,
That was
everybody's
in
talking
Ubisoft's
about that.
Was
and
it in
it's so
Ubisoft conference?
bizarre.
Yeah.
But yeah, that was very cool. They brought out Shigeru Miyamoto on stage, and that's very cool.
Yeah, but it's a very different game because it's more of a top-down strategy kind of XCOM style,
Yes, it's
which is
XCOM
really
Rabbids.
weird. But I really love it. Like
Yeah,
I
I
would
think
play
that's been the
that.
reaction around, is that everybody has just been like, "Oh, I would play this. What is wrong with me?" Like it's just everyone has been talking
I mean,
about it at work, and it's just, yeah, definitely that got a lot of attention.
Yeah,
Um,
but I played tons of XCOM and I was just like sold.
Yeah,
I
but-
want this.
Very strange seeing Mario with a gun.
Yeah,
Yeah.
especially given their normal policy on that kind of thing.
Yeah, I'm amazed Nintendo
Yeah.
have allowed this.
It just reminds
But
me
hey,
of.
they're modernising.
It reminds
Absolutely.
me of that 1990s Mega Man box art cover where he had the Glock. You know?
Oh god,
First,
yeah,
the very first Mega Man box art, and he literally just has a gun.
yeah.
And it's just sort of like, what is happening? It
Yeah,
won't sell in
it's like-
America unless we put a Glock on the cover.
But no, it
Yeah,
was
America.
like Mario has a weapon. He is going to use it. The Rabbids were dressed up as Princess Peach and stuff as well, which was like, oh my gosh. Because I know they're quite protective over their characters and everything. I was like, you're having a rabbit that looks like Peach? Okay. This is a bit new. And then they messed with Mario and Luigi a bit as well, didn't they? With the outfit.
Just a
and-
touch, yeah.
Yeah.
Which was quite interesting. I really like. I think they've just gone very light with it, and they're just like, yeah, whatever. We'll go with it. We'll roll with it. It's gonna be interesting to see how the Rabbids humor marries into the whole
It was probably the most
Mario thing.
It's
But
probably the most surprising game we saw at E3.
yeah,
be honest, which
I
is
was
weird to
not
say.
expecting it going into. I was thinking that we're gonna get another.
Well,
we're
like-
gonna get another Mario game. There's
Well,
gonna be another this. There'll be another that.
There
but
was
I
rumours for ages that the Ubisoft was working with Nintendo on something.
Yes, we just didn't know what. That was the thing.
Yeah.
Yeah. So no, it was a good surprise. It was a really, really nice surprise, actually.
And it's another reason to buy the Switch, which they kind of need.
Yeah, well, for me, just that game alone is why your Switch is going to be disappearing from your room for a couple of days.
Okay.
I'm sorry.
Right, so I
If
know
it
where
goes
that
missing, you know why. Because I'm not going to buy one, I'm going to pinch yours. And I will just play that for hours on end. So sorry. If it's co-op, you can join me for a few hours.
It is co-op.
Oh, yeah. Even better.
I really enjoy quite a lot of the games that are on the Switch right now, actually. Obviously, like, I've played a lot of Shovel Knight, but I mean, I've played that before.
Yes, that's awesome.
What else have I been playing on the Switch? 1-2 Switch is actually really good if you have a group of friends. It's it's
Really?
obviously it's kind of the Nintendo party game deal. So it plays very much like a party game. But it's a lot of fun with a group of friends and a pint. Definitely a lot of fun.
It should have been included with the Switch, though.
Yeah,
$50.
it certainly would have moved it, I think. Yeah.
That was
but
a bit much.
definitely had a lot of fun with that. We just went to a wedding, like a family wedding recently, and brought it along, and like everybody was playing it and having a great time. So it's one that I really enjoyed. What else? Mario Kart, of course. The edition of that they put out is spectacular.
Oh yes, I've been playing that a lot.
Yeah, I've got a lot of friends that are ranting and raving about how good it is. Again, it's one of those games where I do really want to get in, and again, I want to pinch your console for that.
Yeah, well, it's really Mario Kart and Zelda. I'm still playing a lot.
Yeah, I mean, there's a
of
few
course.
design choices in Zelda that I don't approve of, but you know.
I'm not necessarily an enormous fan of the breaking weapons.
Yes, that was one of the big cruxes for me. I hate that.
It just feels a bit weird.
Well,
I don't know
weird.
exactly.
Like, a sword will break in 3 hits, and then a tree branch will break in 3 hits. I mean, how is that comparable?
But also, as well, you don't have the option to upgrade your gear or have the weapon influence your fighting style, and you're constantly hunting around for crappy weapons, basically, and poking things with sticks, essentially. And I'd rather have a loot system where I can build on it than be hunting around for garbage, basically, on the floor to hit things with.
I think,
and it interrupts the pace of the combat as well, because you're constantly having to faff around picking weapons up and using them, and it just messes with it. I'd far rather be like, right, here's my gear, I want to upgrade it, I get that maybe they don't want the whole loot hoarding scenario, but instead, your inventory is just full of shovels and spades and sticks and rubbish that you just keep on the off chance that your weapon's going to break in 3 hits. And
a
in the
bizarre
middle of
one
a
that
fight as well.
Bizarre kind of thing that I ran into at that point was I find that you are hesitant to use the cool weapons you have, right?
Yes.
Because you hold on to something that's really quite good. And you hoard that sucker, right? Like you don't want to
keep it for like a boss or something later on when it gets difficult. Yeah.
Interesting things, and then what ends up happening is it's sort of like elixirs in Final Fantasy. Like you end the game and you're like, aha, I saved all of these, and you still have every single one that you had. You just So I mean, because I remember I finished Zelda, and when I got to the end, it was like, oh, I have just dozens of really interesting weapons in my inventory that I was like really hesitant to ever pull out and use, right?
Yeah, because that one moment
again,
where
it's
you
like,
think you're gonna need
it's gonna break. I want to keep this.
Yeah, well, it's like when you get the Master Sword and you only get 20 hits with it before it breaks.
Yeah.
But of course, with that one, you actually get to keep it still. It doesn't go away.
It doesn't break. You just have to wait. Yeah.
You see, I wouldn't have minded that too much if they put a repair mechanic in and said, look, you can use a weapon, but you're gonna have to repair it with some sort of cooldown, so you need to change it up every so often or whatever. I wouldn't have minded that so much. The one thing I did hear about, and I saw that on, I think it was the Red Letter Media guys, the previously recorded lot. They were saying that there's some sort of moon event or something, and that will trigger all the loot to respawn. So if there's something that you've looted from a chest in a particular spot, like a really good weapon, you can get it back. But it means all the faffing of going to that place again, beating everything that's in your way that's respawned, and they're doing it. And the one of the bugbear is the draw distance. Because things are literally popping in like 2 inches in front of your face.
It's not that bad.
No, but it was pretty bad on the footage I saw. It wasn't great. Especially when you're coming down off a high location at speed.
That
So-
certainly, you can notice it for sure.
Yeah.
It wasn't jarring though. I think they stylistically got around it in certain ways.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
you're right though. Yeah, it's certainly noticeable.
Yeah. Yeah. So yeah, I mean that was one thing. And then also like the other thing that I had a bit of a bugbear was the climbing in wet weather.
Oh yeah,
The
that
amount
drove
of
me
people I
crazy.
saw struggling with that. Like I can
Well,
understand
because I just got
some sort
very,
of penalty.
I got very stubborn. Like I just went and was like, "Oh, you can't climb; it's wet." I was like, "I'm doing it anyway." And
Yeah.
I just
Yeah.
stubbornly
I don't
tried to
mind-
climb the wall.
I don't mind a penalty per se or something to make it a little bit more, but but going full ham to the point where like you literally just can't do it. It's that much of a nuisance.
Mhm.
I can understand maybe they've done that so you've got to plan your routes and go around. It does kind of pad the run time, essentially, because if you do want to completely avoid climbing, for that reason, because the weather's just gone to crap. Then that does have implications on where the player goes and what they decide to do. And that's kind of good, but I kind of feel like it's a bit like forced on the player, or like you say, do what you do, which is just battle it out, kind of thing, and soldier on regardless, and then suffer as a result.
It definitely was a great game, though. I really enjoyed that. Played a lot of that. It took up quite a lot of my time when the Switch first came out. That was basically all I was playing for a solid week or so there.
Yeah, fair enough. Right, should we quickly round up with Microsoft and Ubisoft?
Sure.
Actually, there's
Yeah,
one
and then
thing
we'll
about
move on to your interview section, if that's cool with you. And we talk a little bit about beans.
Sure.
All right, before it gets too late for you.
No, that's
Because I know
fine.
you've got stuff you need to do. So okay, quickly through Microsoft then. Where do you guys want to
why
start?
did they put a freaking car, like, show it off to the world for the first time during the video game conference?
They wanted the nerd cred, man. They wanted the nerd cred.
No,
Okay,
that's-
that makes sense. But the crowd was just like, why is there a car here? We don't care about a car. We care about the games.
Show me the
And,
car
like-
in the game, which they did.
Yeah,
but-
like-
It's this car company's thrown some money at them and said, "Can we put it in the game now? Can you just show it off on stage?" And it's a waste of everyone's time.
please
but
buy one of
they
these.
do it. It's kind of quick. It's not.
It's not
I
totally
know,
egregious.
but-
At the end of the day, they've put it in the game. It is
It's
in the
Forza.
game. So
It's
yeah, but they're always going to
Yeah,
have
I
those
think-
deals. You need to have that because you need certain brands of car in the game, and to make
And
it.
I think there's a bit of
enjoyable.
I think they're trying to make sure that they, what's the word I'm looking for? Corner that market, right? Like I feel like they want to make sure that they have like the best or the most, you know what I mean? Because it's like they're competing against Gran Turismo to some
Yeah.
degree, right? Like they're trying to make certain that they have the, kind of most marketable, most realistic, whatever. So when you see the real car up there for that certain crossover market of people that are car nuts and game nuts, I mean, I guess that's the way to win that market.
Yeah, because you can see
Yeah,
every
but-
single panel exactly as it's intended.
Yeah, I was at E3 physically for work, and I mean that car was on the show floor, and that's a good-looking car, to be honest with you.
Mm.
Like it is. Yeah, I mean they just had it sitting out on the show floor, like with folks, so you could walk up, check it out. Like a nice car. But yeah, it's it
You
is
don't
a
want to
little
put a
odd.
scratch on
Yes.
that car.
Yeah,
Nice car,
don't touch
never
it for
afford
God's
it.
sake. Yeah.
Just everybody drooling over it. Be like, I want one of those. I dread to think what the insurance is on it though.
Oh, even the car itself. I mean, if you think even put it in perspective, like a Ferrari California, kind of an entry-level car like that is like what, $750,000 or something. So I mean,
Yeah.
I don't even want to think about it. But
yeah, just a little bit of money.
Yeah.
certainly, yeah.
Yeah, it's just a bit.
well, Microsoft. One of their best games, I think, was Sea of Thieves.
Yes,
Oh yeah.
I am
Ah.
so looking forward to
Spectacular.
that.
It's so unique and different, and it's rare back to being a developer rather than.
I really want it to go well for them because I think this could be really like the thing that gets them back on track.
Yeah, I love. It's got that British sense of humor as well, and it's
You
it's
know,
a pirate adventure and
Bit of
just looks so much
light-hearted
fun.
fun.
Yeah, I think with friends that's.
But
just
as
gonna
well,
be
yeah, with
so good.
friends, teamwork,
I think it's gonna be so good.
Yeah, I think again I can see myself soaking a lot of hours into that, especially if I get like a bunch of my buddies together for it.
Absolutely.
Just have a
I
muck
mean,
around on it.
that's been another one I think though that's been kind of hinted at quite a few times, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, that one is that does look spectacular. I mean, no two ways about it.
Yeah. Like I say, I think with the right people, there's some serious potential for longevity playing that.
Yeah.
Like,
definitely.
I mean, I know people that play Rocket League to death, but for me, that would be like my Rocket League, if that makes sense, with the right people.
I think it's a game that could live on whether they support it enough. If they keep adding quests and stuff to it, it could really be a long.
Well, even if they
game.
add extra ships, maybe a few extra mechanics here and there, a bit of customization, you know, just to mix it up, keep it a little bit fresh.
I just think they need to keep adding adventures constantly for its
Yeah.
lifespan.
Yeah. Well, if they keep doing that, then it gives you things that, as a group, you can experience and muck around with and explore, and as long as you've got things to kind of mess around with that are new, you kind of bring your own story to it, and you know, see new things, and then just just discover something completely random, you know, and just kind of give you that oh moment, you know, when you discover something for the first time. As long as that keeps coming through, I think it's, you know, a lot of potential there.
It seems like a game that they could do seasonal stuff with relatively easy, like,
yeah.
oh hey, hidden Halloween cave, or oh hey, it's snowing in certain places, or things like that.
Yeah.
Continue.
Yeah, I'm just having a look on my notes at the moment.
There was Crackdown 3.
Oh yeah.
It's more Crackdown. It's got Terry Crews in it now.
Mm.
Why not?
Yeah.
Oh, Terry Crews.
I was never a big fan of Crackdown, but I don't know. It's interesting because they've got a very. I mean, they've kept it very much like the old games and the kind of.
I think the only
look.
the only disappointing thing is they sold it on the destruction. Yet in the single player, you can't really destroy much.
Yeah, the destruction's multiplayer only, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah. Which is a bit of
multiplayer,
a
you can actually
sucker.
flatten the entire city if you want to. That's freaking awesome. But single
then
player, you can blow up some barrels. That's about it.
Yeah. Yeah.
So,
I think it'll be a good iteration in the series. It's just a shame. I think maybe certain things aren't going to be carried through, and we'll see. Like I say, Crackdown was never my thing. It was more yours, wasn't it?
I wasn't massive into it back in the day, so it was.
No, I remember you
just,
played it though.
It's kind of just a series that's okay. I'll play it. I'll give it a try.
You'll see what it's like, and
I'm gonna give it a go definitely because Terry Crews is in it. That's just too funny to avoid.
that should give you a few laughs at least.
Him going boom and all that.
Yeah.
Well, for me,
any of you remember
Terry Crews is a sore spot.
Yeah, do any of
A
you
little
remember Ashen?
Oh, that very stylized.
Yeah.
Yeah, very, very stylized
face
game. Well, they've
thing.
got faces, but no features, no eyes, no nose,
very
no mouth.
Weird, but
Yeah, it was a little odd, but I think stylistically it's very strong. So, and the lighting was very good in it.
yeah, I just don't know. They haven't shown too much of
I
it.
want to see more. I'm definitely intrigued.
It kind of has that Dark Souls vibe. It looks like a hard sort of action slash sort of thing. Yeah, it's interesting.
Yeah, I just want to see more. But
think-
again, we'll
I
have
think
to wait for
overall,
that.
Microsoft had a really strong indie presence in their conference.
Yeah.
Really strong.
But it was vast. It was
yeah,
very
lots
vast.
of different ones.
I think, like I say, Sony's was more focused.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But,
So, Shadow of War.
Oh yeah, that
yeah.
that seems
I am
like an interesting
definitely
take
getting
on it.
Yeah, absolutely.
The Nemesis system in the last one was great.
Well, it's
I
how
really
they-
want to see how they
it's-
develop it now.
It's how they've expanded on it now.
Yeah.
It just
I'm
looks really good.
still miffed at the shady publishing tactics, the naughty
Oh, Warner Brothers
agreements.
back in the day.
Yeah,
Well,
because they had those
past.
agreements where you couldn't say certain things, and there was
Well, they were paying off YouTubers.
yeah,
and stuff to review.
that was a bit naughty, and they wouldn't give copies out to a lot of people. So it had me worried for a while because I genuinely thought, oh, they didn't believe in this. This is not going to be worth my time. I'm thinking, oh, something's not quite right here. And then it comes out and it's absolutely amazing. And I was like, oh my gosh, Why? Why did they do that?
I think they'll be fine this time.
Yeah, I think that hopefully they've learnt their lesson. I just want to see how they expand on the Nemesis system, and also it's very much more big army war orientated now,
Yeah, I
isn't
like
it? So
controlling your armies now.
yes, so it's going to be more about controlling a collective than
It's more
your
grand scale Lord of the Rings.
yeah, it is basically like marching into Mordor and kicking some ass, you know.
Absolutely.
Would be very cool.
So I think it's going to be really, really fun potentially. Yeah. I don't know. I hope they don't add gimmicks for the sake of adding them. I hope that, like the Nemesis system, there's a good logic and reason behind it, and you know that it's all very, very tied in and to a decent mechanical. You know, have that level of depth with the mechanics. You know, nothing too shallow, just for the sake of it. Because you could go very gimmicky with it, and I hope they won't. Hopefully they won't. I mean, it looks good so far, and they've showed a fair bit of it in
When's
action.
the release date for it?
Release
When's
date.
the release date for it?
What's the release
not
date
sure.
for it, Richard?
October, I believe.
Something like that. If not, Google.
Yeah, that's what I'm doing now.
Yeah, I'll let you Google that then. Yeah, but no, that one should be really... Oh, yeah, I've got... Yeah, it's on my notes. October 2017. 10th. I don't have the exact date, but I've got October of that.
October 10th. So...
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, yeah, talking indie. Ori and the Will of the Wisps. Very classic.
Now, Ori and the Blind Forest was spectacular.
Oh,
Yes,
yeah, that was amazing.
It was amazing.
That was done in Unity, wasn't it?
Yeah, there's
I think so,
that's
possibly.
Yeah.
becoming a very
I'm pretty sure it
resilient
was.
kind of engine lately.
But yeah, they did another
It was
very
an amazing job.
heartfelt trailer with the birds' dead parents and the piano music going. And
Yeah, I mean the fact that guy came out on stage and performed that, and you know,
the live song, yeah.
Yeah, that was really well
It
done.
was a cool moment.
And I mean that's one of the things that Ori and the Blind Forest got really, really spot on was the music.
Yeah.
It was just perfect, just at the right moment. So I'm really, really excited to see that again in this next iteration. Again, it's going to be more of the typical big scary forest, tiny ickle furry thing.
It's more Ori.
Murdered parents.
Cool.
I'm not going to spoil the ending of the last Ori and the Blind Forest because obviously some people might not have played it. The ending disappointed me a little bit. I didn't like the contradiction that kind of took away the stakes. I'm not going to say any more than that because I don't want to upset people with spoilers. Hopefully they don't pull another one of those. If they pull another one of those, I will not be happy. I could understand why that might cater a little bit more to kiddies so that they don't cry all the way home, but yeah, I don't want them to do that. Well, kill the furry things in the forest. That's fine.
I'm sure it will be a great game.
Yeah, I've got a lot of faith in them doing good.
Yeah.
I'll be interested to see where they take the plot because there is the risk of them essentially rerunning the same exact scenario.
No, absolutely.
Oh yeah, they announced the Xbox Originals are now compatible with. They're doing the new system, aren't they? So you've got 360 games compatible and original Xbox.
Yeah, so you play original Xbox games.
Yeah, so there's going to be a much bigger
Which
library
is
now of compatible content.
just another cool feature. It's not like a massive thing.
No, it's not a big deal, but
you could play original Fable or Crimson Skies they showed off.
Yeah,
so
but you take your library
cool.
of what you could play.
Yeah.
It has just gotten massively bigger now.
Yeah,
without the need to plug the old systems in.
Yes, one of the best things that actually came out of that is they've said that even though it's original Xbox and like they're emulating it on the Xbox One, you can still put in your old discs, and it will work like the 360 discs as well. So that's really cool. That's a cool feature.
Yeah, sorry, chat. We're not ignoring you. I am looking at chat. We're just yap.
Yeah,
Thanks
one
for
thing
the
that
thanks for the bits, Bongo. Much appreciated.
one thing
Big
that I
hugs, dude.
thought was interesting during the Microsoft show was the way that they presented the Darwin project.
Yeah.
I did not like that at all.
Well, I liked it because it was different. but it didn't really tell me much about the game. For those of you that didn't watch it, they pretty much did a shoutcasting during the entire presentation, and they were like shoutcasting, like, "Oh, so and so's doing this, and but another person's helped them with this," but they don't really tell you much about the game. So, in one aspect, I understand the marketing idea of it behind it because, sort of, all right, not a lot of people do this. This might help it stand out. But on the other side is they're not telling you much about the game. They're showing you gameplay, but they're really banking on the different presentation and the gameplay, making you want to look up more info about it. So I understand why they did it. I just don't know if it was really as effective as they wanted it.
Yeah, as you said, like this, I didn't like the shoutcasting. That was just annoying throughout the entire thing, and to me, it just sold it as like another hero style-based shooter sort of thing.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
do we need another one?
Yeah.
Well, right now I play a lot of like Overwatch and Paladin, so I'm just like, so how would this be different from Paladins and Overwatch?
Yeah,
Like,
always. It's just instantly going to get compared to Overwatch and whatnot. You know, it's got
and
uphill
Battleborn
struggle.
and
Yeah.
Yeah.
If it's going to succeed, it needs to find an identifying factor
Yeah.
that
Which
makes
is
it
this? I'm
unique
sorry.
and sets it apart.
I literally zoned out for a half second there. Which is this?
This is what's it called? The Darwin Project.
Oh, right. I'm
yeah,
sorry. Yes,
Darwin
of course.
Project.
Yes, yes, yes.
Like the only unique thing I think they're selling it on is like with Mixer integrated, you can basically the audience can interact and like create shields around people and stuff. But it wasn't.
Yeah, they
very
can
well,
influence the impact
it
of the
wasn't
game.
well explained.
Yeah, I think
Yeah.
they're kind of going for that like Hunger Games kind of vibe with the
Yeah.
the sponsor kind of support. But I think they're doing it also the other way around where they can mess with you.
Like it had a very.
But I can see that being really annoying for players. Like you just get messed over by someone.
Yeah, and it had a very
Yeah.
clean art style, but it looked a bit flat and boring. I don't know if anyone else felt that.
Yeah,
I
can
get that.
kind of see that. Yeah. Sorry, I'm multitasking terribly.
No, you're
I
all right.
like that they had. It seems like it has a similar crafting to. Oh, she was the Coaling. Because I remember during the presentation they were talking about something about, oh hey, somebody's crafting something. So I'm like, all right, so is this gonna be sort of like the Coaling where you could make your own weapons, but at the same time I didn't really get the whole vibe that, oh hey, your chat from Mixer could also interact with you from that presentation. So
Yeah, I think it was terrible first impressions of that game. They did not
Yeah.
sell it well at all, and I think that's gonna hurt it.
I think what we need is clarity
Yeah,
on a few key things.
if that's your first video, you've not sold me at all.
But yeah, like I said, I respect that they were trying to think outside the box with the way that they were trying to market it. It's just an idea, like A plus in effort and idea process, closer to a D on like actual execution of it. I guess. So
Yeah. Yeah. Anything else in particular you want to discuss from? He's just pinching my notes.
Well, there's State of Decay 2. That looks.
Yes, I want to
alright.
play that.
It's now got co-op, which the first game desperately needed.
Yeah. So that'll be good.
So yeah, that's good.
I really want to see where that goes.
Oh, Minecraft 4K update.
Ugh, yeah.
What's the point?
I'm so past that now. Metro though. Metro.
Oh, Metro
Exodus.
Last Light. That was a very cool demo.
Metro Exodus. Exodus.
Exodus.
Sorry, I can't read my own
Yes.
notes now. This is just great. I need to turn a light on in here. Yeah. So that looks potentially quite interesting, but again, there wasn't a huge amount of that shown, so I was a bit like, okay, I have to wait and see.
To be honest, that's multi-platform as well. So
Yeah.
it's
I mean, PlayerUnknown Battlegrounds is
not coming to Xbox.
yeah, they're just doing a port over, which is fine. That they'll
Yeah,
get plenty of
cool.
players off the back of that. I know they've had a bit of controversy lately, but you know, stuff happens. What else? Oh, there's Dragon Ball Z. Black Desert Online's getting ported over.
Oh, that indie game.
Oh,
There's
yeah,
an
The
indie game
Last
called
Night.
The Last Night,
Yeah, The Last Night, yeah.
which was very Blade Runner-esque, dystopian
Yes.
sci-fi future, like side-scroller. Looked very cool.
Yeah, that looks kind of interesting. Did you see that one, Kev? Or Matt?
Which
I
one
did
was
not.
it? The
It's
last
called
night?
Last Night.
The Last Night.
Oh, last night. Yeah. Okay. Yep.
That looked very cool.
Yeah. I think that's most of Microsoft's covered, isn't it, really?
Yeah,
I
mean,
would say.
it was heavy indie focus, really. They had obviously Sea of Thieves, Crackdown.
Yeah,
State
I
of
think
Decay.
Sea of Thieves is one
They
of the big
didn't-
show stealers.
They didn't have enough killer AAA big exclusives, I don't think, but they still had a strong lineup.
Yeah, it was pretty good
A
overall.
lot of diverse
There's
games.
a few, there's a few there that I'm really interested in, so
Yeah, I mean,
nice to see how they pan out.
oh,
Quite
well,
a
gosh,
few games set for
oh,
next
I
year,
suppose-
isn't it?
I suppose we should mention the Xbox One X.
Oh, yeah.
Of course. Yes,
yeah,
Does-
the 1 minute tech
Yeah.
they talked about.
Does anyone like the name?
No.
The
So much
name.
disappoint
I preferred
And the
Scorpio.
name.
It sounded so much
in
cooler.
the design of the
cool.
console.
I know it was just the project name,
Yeah.
but it was like,
It feels like a Apple upgrade now,
yeah.
basically.
Yeah.
Well, we are in that 2.5
Yeah, which they've kind of
scenario.
said.
Yeah, we're half a generation now, so.
It's more powerful than the PS4 Pro. Cool. Kind of. It's that point when, like, a year down the line, when they say now there's going to be exclusive games for it, because there's going to be a point when a developer is going to be like, I want to use all the power, not make it backwards compatible with the original Xbox.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I think they're hoping that the developers aren't going to do that, but I think there are
Eventually-
going to be some that will be like,
It's-
yeah,
I-
we realistically can't afford to
I
do
can see
this.
it happening in like a year or two, and then that'll be when it'll be like probably worth it to get one. But at this point in time, especially I haven't got a 4K TV yet, there's not much point.
Yeah, so you're going to
Yeah.
wait it out, aren't you?
Yeah, I think I'm gonna leave it a year
Yeah.
till I get one.
Well, not only that, there might be a bunch of bugs and stuff, and
Yeah.
you don't know what's going to happen. So, anyway, should we quickly round up then with Ubisoft, and then we'll move on to the interview segment and get it rolling?
Yes.
Yeah. I mean, Ubisoft was the usual. I mean, we've already spoken about the Rabbids and the Kingdom Battle thing. The Crew 2. It's just more of the same, really, isn't it?
For me,
By the
the
looks of
most
it.
pointless sequel ever.
What about you guys?
The
Yeah.
Ubisoft press conference thing that I most noticed was that Rabbids game we already talked about.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, then there was Just Dance. Yeah, it's just more dancey party
Well, they had
stuff.
a great dance routine with Sub-Zero.
Yeah,
if you
that
watch it.
was interesting. Yeah,
Which is kind of funny.
yeah. There's the South Park game, and they're also bringing a South Park game to mobile as well. I'm not a mobile gamer, so it's not really a big deal. I probably will play the main South Park.
The Fractured
Butthole,
Butthole looks
yeah.
awesome.
Yeah, I think I'm gonna play that,
Yes,
especially now I've got
100%.
more into like superhero stuff as well. I think that's gonna be more.
Yes, you've gone into the Marvel stuff, so now
Yeah, I
you'll
am
get the,
slowly learning.
you'll get the jokes this time.
Yeah, yeah. Whereas I'm just sat there going, yeah, okay. Steep DLC, the game that nobody really wants any DLC for because everybody's kind of over it at this point.
It's a dead game.
Yeah, about as dead as the slopes. There's nothing on them. Oh yeah, Ass Creed. Not literally Ass Creed, but Assassin's Creed.
Yes.
Origins.
Well, I just call it Ass Creed for short. Yeah, no, that is the
Sound-
game I really want. I mean, I've been disappointed with some of the Assassin's Creeds, but set in Egypt, it's the setting I've wanted for a very, very long time. It's the origin story that we're going into now, finally. Proper the start of it all. And they're taking a different approach to the storytelling, which
Yeah.
I'm not sure about, but I guess I'll have to wait and see how
Also,
it all pans out.
They've shown off it has more RPG mechanics with loot
Yes.
drops and stuff.
Yeah.
Which is different for the series.
Yeah, I mean, hopefully it'll freshen it up a bit.
don't
I
know.
just hope it doesn't turn into one of those silly sightseeing tours
We will see.
that the one set in America turned into, for example, because that got a bit annoying after a while. Like, hey, sign the declaration. It's like, yeah, I just happened to be here at the right time
Yes.
for
Yeah.
it.
Yeah.
I was like, come on, please, no. Oh, you've gone and met XYZ. Aren't they amazing? I'm like, yeah, okay. Whoopee frickin' do. I mean, I've got the obvious controversy, haven't we? Far Cry 5. It's been getting a few people upset. As we were discussing on the last one, though, it's just it's exaggerated. It's not supposed to be you know, like, people need to just get over it. I'm glad they're doing a different setting.
Yeah, looks fun. It's more Far Cry.
Yeah, it's more of the same. I'm gonna have some fun with it. I'm definitely gonna cause some trouble, but
Although, yeah, this one's kind of been off my radar because it's out in February, so it's kind of a bit off.
Yeah, you got a little while.
Schedule,
Yeah.
So it's kind of we'll play it, but
happy birthday, Porky. Sorry in chat. Oh yeah, and then the other thing is Skull and Bones. Now this is Ubisoft's answer to Sea of Thieves, but it's more realistic, or at least they're going for that kind of realism graphically and mechanically.
My big problem with this game is basically they've taken the mechanic from Black Flag and just expanded on it, but it's just that engine.
The thing is, though, that's what I'm saying.
They haven't.
My understanding is they have literally just lifted it straight out of Black Flag and slightly tweaked it.
Basically, yes.
So, I mean, it was one of the really enjoyable bits of Black Flag. I did enjoy doing all that, but it does after a while kind of like grind on you a bit.
I'm sure it'll be a fun game, but Sea of Thieves has more fun about it.
I think it's the lightheartedness and the stylistic.
Skull and Bones just looks too serious.
I think I'll enjoy it if I get the right friends together, but I don't know if long term it's going to stick with me or resonate as well as Sea of Thieves is.
It's another game where you'll need friends to enjoy it. I think single player it will probably get boring.
Suck.
Quite quick.
Yeah, it's gonna suck hard. I mean, what about you
that
guys?
Seems to be the thing
Can you see yourselves playing it?
I mean, you know, like Assassin's Creed Black Flag was like probably my favorite one.
It was
so
really well
ultimately,
done.
like, and really, that's like what I spent my time doing in that game was sailing around and blowing people up. Like I greatly enjoyed that portion. So I don't know. I think if they capitalize on that, it could be really entertaining.
Yeah. I think what they need to do is not be shallow about it. If they're gonna just deliberately lift Black Flag's sailing component, they really need to expand on it quite heavily, giving the player options of things to do.
Sure.
Ways they can customize, ways that they can improve things or strategize with their crew. You know, the other thing. Oh, that was the other thing I noticed as well. Sea of Thieves, you're a crew on one boat, right? This Skull and Bones game, was it Skull and yeah. Each player has a separate ship, and your crew is your crew. The other players have no say in that whatsoever. So that was one of the big differences between the two. The teamwork is more about flanking with ships and stuff like that, whereas Sea of Thieves, you're working together as a team to keep your ship afloat while attacking them and getting on the other ship. So it's more you're an individual playing your little role, you know, repairing or firing or whatever. This other game, it's more you manage your whole ship and your whole crew and you play a part in a bigger battle. So it's more grand scale, but you don't have the individual role per se. You have an automated crew, essentially, AI. I don't know how intelligent they're going to be in particular. Sure. You know, running the little tasks. So you're more of a manager than, the ground team, so to speak. So it's a bit of a different approach, and I think that's going to appeal to different people as a result. And again, you've got this difference between the style of it visually as well. But yeah, the whole I've got a whole crew situation versus I'm a single person on a boat. I think that's going to be interesting. I don't know. Again, I think that's going to be less personal, you see. I think that's, again, another area where Sea of Thieves might win it, because I think the getting stuck in and the frantic nature of being a single person, that also makes you more vulnerable as well.
Yeah, the interaction is certainly rather different. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. I think that's going to make it more frantic, lead to more silly moments. You know, again, and the visual style of Sea of Thieves lends itself to that anyway. So, yeah, I'll have to see what happens. If you had to pick, though, guys, what would you go? If you on your gut instinct, Sea of Thieves or Skull?
Oh, Sea of Thieves right
Sea of
now, for
Thieves,
sure.
Any day.
Yeah.
Sea of Thieves,
Yeah, see, Sea
because
of
I
Thieves
have
is where I'd
friends
go
who
now.
are getting the game.
Yeah, I mean, I'll probably try both. Thanks for subscribing. Thanks very much, Mass. Much appreciated. Good on you, mate. Right. Sub button's getting used. It's good. Yeah,
And,
what about you, chat? Yeah, let us know in chat, guys.
I think everyone's going to go Sea of Thieves.
Yeah, I got a horrible feeling that'll be the way it is. Right, should we move on to the interview bit
Sure.
so that we don't hold you up?
No, that's fine. I'll just finish up when we're done with that, and that's
Yeah,
fine.
brilliant. Yeah, if it's fine by you, because I hope time's not getting on too much for you. So yeah, should we just kick it off with a really simple, nice, easy, get you going? Your first gaming experience that you remember?
Playing.
Yeah, the one that really stuck with you.
That would probably be. I'm just trying to remember what system it was on, so I have to cheat and do some googling. Yeah. Okay, it was Miss Pac-Man on the Atari 2600.
So just a while ago then.
Just a bit. Yeah.
It's almost
Definitely. Yeah, there you go.
Yeah. We're all showing
It
our
was-
age now, unfortunately.
So that
'cause
was
we
the
all
one
know
that
what that
came out-
is.
Yeah.
It's
That
not
was
a
the
bad
one that
choice,
came
but-
out
No, it's a good game.
immediately after the first Pac-Man that came out on Atari went
Yeah.
really
Yo,
poorly.
my earliest memory was Doom, and then it was Pac-Man.
Yeah,
So,
yeah.
Yeah, there you are for sure. So yeah, definitely Miss Pac-Man on the Atari 2600 is the first video game
Yeah.
I remember playing for
Yeah.
sure.
What was it that stuck with you from that experience, do you think?
Oh
What was it
God,
that
I mean,
hooked you?
I was extremely young when I did this one, but you know, it just seemed to me, you know, you played games with your excuse me, with your parents, whatever, when you were a kid, board games, things like that, stuff outdoors, and I don't know, I was really young, like where you know, I was like probably 3 or 4 or something. I was very tiny, so I think for me at the time, probably just from a behavioristic sense, all the blinking, flashing lights, etc., really kind
Yeah.
of sold me, right? 'Cause, I mean, you're a toddler, right? So,
Yeah.
yeah, and you know, progressive difficulty was really interesting. Like the fact that you know everything got slightly faster as time went on.
Yeah.
You know, I think that really lays a framework for really basic things about game design, right? Like, you know, some of the most interesting things in game design were accidents. You think about Space Invaders, for example.
Yes.
The incremental speed in Space Invaders was actually like
Yeah.
a limitation of the RAM chip, right? Like it wasn't intentional. It was that as the enemies were deleted, it freed up more RAM on that little IC and it allowed it to move them a little more quickly. And from that happy accident, you have this mechanic of like incremental difficulty. So I think things like Pac-Man and Space Invaders and these kinds of really basic avoidance things, you know, laid a framework for a lot of really interesting game design stuff we do now. So I don't know, it was easy to relate to, and I think it just kind of stuck.
Yeah. Fair enough. So following on from that, what would you say is like your top 3 games of all time then?
Oh God, I always despise questions like these simply because I feel like I'm betraying the games. So in not 1, 2, 3 order, but just no particular order. I really think Minecraft is spectacular and really important. I absolutely love it. It's so completely creative. You know, it let people who play games realize that they don't necessarily have to have like a purpose or a point. Like you don't have to have a core, what's the word I'm looking for? A core thing that you're advancing, like a story necessarily. You know, you're kind of making your own purpose. Really enjoyed that. That's definitely very high. I think Final Fantasy VII probably got me into games,
Yes.
like working in games. And I don't think, you know, it hasn't aged very well because you play it now and ultimately, like, you know, obviously it's got some, you know, giant hands and the animation's kind of poor and there's just certain things about it that have not aged. But on the other hand, I think really, like, it definitely laid a lot of the framework for me caring about story in games. And then after that, I think I'd have to say, like, just Zelda on the NES.
Yeah.
I mean, I think that like Legend of Zelda on the NES definitely was probably like, oh, these can be spectacular. But my God, I could go on forever. Like, Super Mario RPG was probably really high up there. Catherine on PS2, I think was like PS3, I think was killer. There's an astronomically long list of games that I think have been really just wonderful.
Yeah. I mean, this is the thing with gaming. There's so many just classics now, isn't there? That just a bit spoiled for choice.
For sure.
As long as you can get a copy of it and get it working, that's the main thing.
Yeah, there you are. Absolutely.
Yeah. But hey ho. Right. So, I mean, for those that weren't here earlier, Matthew is a senior data analyst for Sony, aren't you? So
PlayStation, yeah.
Yeah. So, what I think would be really nice for the people to understand is kind of what you do in your day-to-day job, and
Sure.
what a typical day in that kind of role involves.
Yeah, okay. So my background is kind of like a combination of statistics and psychology. I did education, studied, have a PhD from Memorial in Newfoundland, which is on the sort of northeast coast of Canada. So anyway, day to day, I work with user experience group and a bunch of other folks to take a look at a lot of our games and sort of what players are doing in them. So there's kind of what's called like a telemetry pipeline. So what that is right from programming the game all the way to getting data from the game. So imagine, you're playing a game like Saints Row.
Yeah.
I used to work for Volition, so this is an easy one. Every time you shoot a bullet, every time you rob a car, blow something up, beat a boss, whatever, we get a little nugget of non-personalized data about you. So it doesn't have anything like, I don't know who you are, right? Like it's not, I can't associate it with your name or with your PSN account or anything. It's just random data. And those little bits of data help us make sort of game design decisions. We can detect if people are exploiting pieces of our economy. We can sort of detect like if people are dying in a particular area. Like those loot cave scenarios, like in Destiny, show up really readily in these kinds of things. So I work on a lot of titles. A few offhand that I've been working on lately are the like MLB franchise. There's a few dozen others, but Star Blood Arena, which is a VR game for PSVR. Working on that as well, and a lot of what I do day to day is like gather bits of. I'm trying to speak evasively because there's certain things I'm NDA'd about, but you get my point.
Yeah.
But it's gathering little bits of gameplay data to make reports back to people who care about what the players are doing. That's usually game designers. It's also like economy and community people. There's folks that are there, like our terms of service people that are looking to make sure nobody's exploiting or cheating, that kind of thing. It's a feedback loop between game designers and our community. Also, I help people understand kind of financial bits, like how the games are doing from sort of a monetary standpoint. And I work with a monetization team as well to try to help people optimize kind of our DLC packages, find the right price points for them.
Yeah.
There's a business operations kind of side to it as well.
Yeah. Awesome. So following that, how did you initially get into doing data analysis?
Sure. So, I worked at a handful of small indie companies just on game design in the eastern part of Canada when I was in college, working on little indie titles, mobile stuff during the first iPhone boom. And sort of catered my PhD to studying users of games. Then when I finished that doctorate, I was still working on indie games in my basement kind of thing. And Penn State had a role for like studying game programming at an engineering school in Erie and Pennsylvania in the U.S. So I moved there and took that job and did that for 3 or 4 years. And throughout that time, I'd contract and sort of contact back and forth with different companies, larger entities like Volition and like Sony and things like that. And eventually I just took a full-time job at Volition doing this stuff for them all the time instead of sort of on a contractual role. Worked there during Saints Row 4 and their new title, Agents of Mayhem, that's coming out. My name's on that as well.
Yeah.
So, and then eventually I'm at Sony. And the games industry is a bit volatile. You tend to bounce around a bit.
Yeah. Yeah, that's understandable. It's quite the norm, isn't it, really, with these kind of jobs?
Sure.
So, all right, next. So of all the projects you've worked on, gaming related,
Mhm.
which one would you say you've enjoyed the most, and why?
Well, I really liked working at Volition. I like what I do now, sure, too. But Saints Row 4 era Volition is spectacular. I mean, that's a really great group of people. It's very small, kind of like a triple I studio, if you like,
Yeah.
because it's only like about a little less than 200 people, and they really care about what they're doing. The atmosphere is really goofy. The place feels very much like your friend's house. So I
Yeah.
really enjoyed work. Everyone loves the projects. There's a lot of humor in them. Yeah, I'd probably say the Agents of Mayhem or Saints Row 4 were really good.
Fair enough. Fair enough. Right, so on to your project at the moment that you're doing in your spare time, so Beans.
Yes.
How did the idea come about for Beans, the coffee shop simulator?
So when you work in data analysis, you work on a very tiny portion of a very large project. So and this is true of everybody working in a studio, right? Like if you're a textures animator, you might spend the entire day just literally finding bump maps for buildings or something, right? So even though you are working on a project that's ultimately really funny and really cool and that you really enjoy, you end up with sort of one little piece of that in your control instead of the whole thing. So with Beans, it was kind of this idea like, how can I take some of the stupid humor I have and some of kind of just the dad jokes that I crack every now and then, and some of the things I liked as a kid, like we were talking about Theme Hospital earlier, stuff like that, and slap them together into something. And one of the things, California games industry thing that's always just frustrated me is sort of just the level of kind of hipster silliness around coffee shops and coffee culture generally.
Yeah.
And so, this was an easy area for kind of humor and just bad jokes and whatnot. And sort of, this has a very like farmer's market video game kind of feel, because at the end of the day, like you can tell that like three people put this sucker together. So I think the idea was sort of just like game dev therapy. We sort of were like, how can, my wife and I, she works as she's a French teacher, but she also does localization for games as well.
Oh, right.
And so she, we kind of just wanted to get some of our bad humor out into it and have sort of absolute control over it.
Fair enough. Right, what was your biggest challenge in developing Beans?
AI and pathfinding. To be honest with you, writing so it's a state-based AI. Basically, all the little people that wander around in your restaurant go through states. So state-based AI basically means that at a given moment they are trying to accomplish a task. So it might be like trying to find a cash register, trying to find a chair, picking my order, that kind of thing. And so writing that AI system myself, not fun. On top of that, also the pathfinding is really janky. It's based on A*STAR, which is a pathfinding algorithm.
Yeah.
But those two things were definitely like really the hardest parts of the game. Honestly, we were doing it like in free time, so there weren't huge interpersonal challenges, right? Because it's just my wife and my best friend and I,
Yes.
so there wasn't that kind of development team challenges that you normally run into. Finding money is always hard because it's not free. Engines cost money, development costs money, publishing the thing costs money, making sure people actually see the thing costs money. So that definitely was a problem, and getting visibility is always tough. That's something you really fight with in indie dev generally. I mean, even if you're making a big $2 million project, it's sometimes really hard to get people to actually see the goofy thing you put together. Yeah. Sorry, I can ramble forever.
No, it's so good. It's so good. No worries. Originally Beans went through Kickstarter, didn't it?
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah. How did you find the experience of going through kind of the Kickstarter experience?
Not bad. A lot of people came through with us around the same time that are making really cool games, and a few that are making not so great games. Not that all indie games aren't really just charming on their own, but what I'm trying to drive at here is when I taught game development, or game programming at Penn State, you could sort of tell which students were in it because they really, really loved the crap out of what they were doing, and which ones that were kind of like, this will be an easy class. And you see people who put a ton of effort into their Kickstarter campaigns and then do poorly, and you feel terrible. But on the same time, you see like that stupid juicer, that like $400 juice crusher or whatever that ends up making $1 million. So Kickstarter is a funny place. We had a great experience, pretty much. I've had a few backers that were a little bizarre. I did an article about this on Gama Sutra lately. There's kind of like a thing with indie games. You familiar with like the gray market reselling sites,
Yes.
like G4A and all these stupid things? So unfortunately, they've given rise to like this really bad habit of like folks going and backing Kickstarters and like being like, "Oh, I'll back you for $50 if you give me 100 keys for your game on launch day," and like just preying on people because they know they're gonna spend like $50 and get the keys for 5 cents a piece, whatever, and then go and
Yes.
resell them. So we had a lot of that. But besides that, honestly, the experience was pretty good. Kind of a fun way to kind of gauge interest. Obviously, if your Kickstarter comes out and it completely flops dead, it might not be the best indicator of health of your game. But sometimes when you do your Kickstarter, you're also in the period of development where you're kind of looking for what's the word I'm looking for? Like inspiration. You're
Yeah.
kind of like, is anybody going to like this? That sort of deal. So out it comes, and then you're sort of like, oh, hey, people actually like this thing. Cool. And then, that kind of does it. So no, I had a good time with it. I would certainly do it again if we have the opportunity to make any more of these kinds of games in the near future, or any games for that matter. Yeah, definitely.
Cool. Awesome. Well, following on from that, I was going to ask you next if there was anything that you could change about Beans, from a design standpoint or the way it progressed. What would it be? If there's something you would
Yeah.
change.
We had, because it was funded entirely by ourselves and built just like in our basement and free time kind of
Yeah.
thing. I would definitely. That's a good question. I don't know. There's a lot of stuff that was supposed to or was originally going to go in there that didn't actually hit the game. So,
Right.
like our little stupid Mecha Mom employee in the last level was actually just going to be this big, ridiculous kaiju battle that we just kind of scrapped because it was sort of just like way out of scope for what the game was. So
Yeah.
I don't know. I feel like if I had more time to kind of, and more 8 hour a day time, not just like, oh, hey, it's the weekend or it's 10 o'clock at night, I'll pound on this for a couple hours.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think I would have liked to go back and had like a full-time amount of time to develop it a little more frequently, because it really, like, there's a lot in there that's really fun, but there's a lot more that I wanted to put in that didn't actually make it in there.
Yeah. Fair enough. You are planning to patch some stuff in though, aren't you?
Yeah, there's a bug fix and sort of quality of life patch that is actually before we started talking today I was working on, so
Yeah.
that'll be out should be like August 1st. Steam takes a little while to let your patches go through, so very
Yes.
first couple of days in August, users that already own it can see that come through, and first things you'll notice like really quickly are just basic stuff that the community was really asking for. There's a pause feature, there's like a level select feature, there's sandbox mode feature when you select the level. They're just kind of quality of life stuff that people just wanted. And the one thing that with a game this size and with a relatively small audience, it's maybe a couple thousand people.
Yeah.
It's easy to stay on top of like the Steam discussions and sort of like, oh, add this, and I can kind of make these little bespoke solutions that people are interested in seeing.
Yes.
Yeah, and so we're planning on doing a few free goofy content things coming up too. There should be a Halloween level for Halloween, a Christmas level for Christmas, that kind of thing.
Yeah.
And then we'll probably do one very cheap, like $1.99 DLC pack in next March sometime that'll have a bunch of extra levels. And then we just sell the whole shebang with its, I guess it'd probably have about 10 or 15 levels at that point, and people can play it to their heart's content. And I think I'll probably just put it to maintenance at that point.
Okay, brilliant. Right, and actually leading on quite well from that, actually, I was going to ask next, kind of, how much has the community feedback actually influenced the development process?
Oh, sure. So we're definitely like trying to make a little game that makes people happy at the end of the day, right? Like it's not something that's going to make me a millionaire. It's a little $5 game. So it's definitely something we wanted to do it and to kind of just do the whole experience end to end and really get that, have people that are streaming it and they're having fun with it, and people are shooting us little like thank you notes and like doing little like silly beans memes and stuff, and it's really it's a great thing to see. It makes you really happy. So to that end, we've been on top of the community stuff like crazy. Every time anybody, like, we try to respond to every single thing on the Steam discussions. We've been answering like little personal questions. People have been like, hey, how do I make a how do I make like a cappuccino? And I'll come in and tell them, like sneak into people's streams and give them cheat codes, things like that. So yeah, hugely, I guess, is the answer. When people ask for, bug fixes and features and stuff like that in our, on our Steam community page or on Twitter, things like that, we really do try to make sure they get in there for people.
Yeah.
Because yeah, at the end of the day, we just want people to be happy with it, right? And kind of have a
Yeah.
good time.
Yeah. Sorry. Crispy, thanks for subbing. Much appreciated. Have you got anything planned for the future? Anything coming up? Any more Beans projects or anything outside of Beans that you're planning to do on the side?
So we do have, like I say, the Beans pieces that are coming. There'll be 1.1 August 1st or August 2nd, probably. 1.2, probably September 15th or so. There'll be our Beansylvania silly Halloween thing on, late October, Christmas, and then a pack in the spring. We do have another not yet talking about RPG project that we're working on. That'll be kind of a bigger, longer thing. Probably start talking about that next summer sometime.
Fair
Get
enough.
some people some
Keep my eye
ideas
out
of
for
what
that.
we're working on. Yeah, absolutely. Because it's been fun, and it'll be another one of these kind of hobby dev things, and it seems like people really enjoy it. So it makes keeps me busy.
Yes, yeah, plenty to do. Outside of Beans, though, do you have any like hobbies or other interests that you fill your time up with?
Oh yeah, absolutely. So we're like craft brew nerds and travel nerds. We like to kind of travel around a lot. My wife and I homebrew. Kind of athletic, so we go scuba diving and things out here. I mean, we live in California, right? So I spent last weekend in Mexico, and yeah, absolutely, right. I just hopped down to Tijuana for the weekend last week, and yeah, it's been great. So definitely kind of a traveler craft beer guy.
Fair enough. Yeah, it's a bit
We were
cold to
actually
be
in
doing
London
scuba diving over here.
I think it's two summers ago. We were in London and Nottingham and a few places in the UK as well.
Yeah, I did a few uni courses up in Nottingham.
Okay, very cool.
Yeah, long time ago now. So, as you've mentioned before, actually earlier, you were lecturing at a couple of establishments, weren't you? In the past, I don't know how many years ago, but you've been involved in the education side of things. Just for those interested, I know you were involved in the Penn State's game development program. I don't know if you maybe kind of want to elaborate on that a little bit and explain how that works and also how that's benefited students who are looking to get into the gaming industry.
Yeah, absolutely. So I still actually just do one course there, adjunct now online. But it's so the one that I taught at was at Penn State Behrend, which is Penn State's a big school. It's like a huge one in Pennsylvania, and we've got like 24 or 25 campuses. And I was at the one in Erie, which is where I lived at the time. So anyway, it's an engineering school. So this program was a minor, so it's not like a full game development program, like your entire degree is game dev. So we had a software engineering school there, and it was really programming heavy. And the minor would like specific 32 credits that applied directly to taking what you're learning as a software engineer or as a business student. It was like software engineering business, and to some extent we also had fine arts folks as well. And they could take their particular degree that they were taking. It might be like graphic arts or business, whatever, and take this 32 credit minor that would just sort of teach them how to apply the stuff they're learning in their major over to the games industry. So it's pretty cool. I taught in that for the better part of 4 years full-time, and I still have been teaching for the last 2 in little part-time courses online here and there.
Fair enough.
It's a great program, like Pennsylvania a lot, really good spot. So I think if you want to check it out, I think it's like psu.edu or something, but
cool.
US only right now, but
yeah, that's an interesting little alternate way of getting into it rather than doing a full-on gaming course,
that part of Pennsylvania too, it's a little hard to sell parents on the entire full bore game dev stuff for their 18-year-olds and 17-year-olds because it's sort of you're almost guaranteeing that they have to leave, right? In one way, if they go completely into that industry, they'll have to dive off to California or Chicago or some major center. So unfortunately, it's a bit of a hard sell to say, go 100% game development right out of the gate.
Yes. Yeah, and it also gives people options as well.
Yeah, definitely.
Which is kind of good. Yeah. So again, following on from that, if somebody came to you and was looking for advice about getting into game development, what would it be? What would your piece of advice be to someone?
I would 100% make sure that you are doing like a portfolio-based kind of application. So what I mean by that is like we have what's the word I'm looking for? We have a lot of people that apply all the time, everywhere I've ever worked, actually, with a very traditional like resume type application, and that's good. But you need to make sure that like somewhere front and center on that is like a really killer portfolio of showing a huge variety of capabilities. And a lot of people are like, well, I'm a programmer. How do I show a portfolio? You know, because you think portfolio, you think very much like, you know, like an art portfolio or a musical portfolio kind of thing. And those ones are pretty natural and clearly quite obvious how you put those together. But, you know, we like to see lots of interesting projects from programmers, you know, put together like an emulator that you built in a microprogramming class that emulates like C64 or something. Put together, you know, like an AI, like a state-based AI system or a little game of life or something like that. It's just demonstrating that you have kind of a wide variety of talents related to your core competency. Even with data analysis, a lot of it was showing people that you could visualize things and you could, you know, write Python code and write R code and do statistical queries and visualizing that out for people so that they see the actual visible impact of the game, right?
Yeah.
So I think a strong portfolio is definitely like number one way to make sure your application gets seen.
Yeah. Good. Awesome. Great. Anything else you want to add at all, or we're all good?
No, I think that's pretty strong there. I think that's probably good.
Yeah. Okay, brilliant. Well, thank you very much for your time. I do really, really appreciate it, especially at short notice as well.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
I had a ball.
Yeah, I'm going to say I hope you had some fun. A bit of chatting, a bit of chilling.
Very good.
Yeah.
All right. Well, thank you for your time. I'm going to drop out and go grab some dinner with my wife. And yeah, have a good rest of the cast. Yeah,
Yes.
appreciate it.
Matthew.
Yeah, thank you so
take
much.
care,
I'll
guys.
keep in touch with you.
All right. Cheers.
So.
Thanks. Bye-bye.
Yeah, right. Bye. Right, so those of you want to find his project, like I say, it's on Steam. It's Beans, the coffee shop simulator. It's got a website. And, yeah, they're on Twitter as well. The Beans Game, at The Beans Game. So, yeah, like I say, I hope you've enjoyed that, guys. I will whack this on YouTube as well. And everything else that goes with it. SoundCloud, all the other McGubbins. And, of course, that's now screwed with your picture, Kev. I've now got a very nice top of your head and nothing else. I think the book that Matthew recommended earlier might be useful.
No, that's your beard now.
Hey everyone, thank you so much for watching this video. I hope you really, really enjoyed the second episode of our podcast. I just want to take time to say thank you to you guys for watching, but also to Matthew for his participation in this episode, especially given he got involved at the last minute. Unfortunately, Viper wasn't around due to other commitments. But for now, thanks very much. Don't forget to subscribe and share, and drop a comment below. I'd love your feedback, guys. Bye.